really bothered by the fact that you had to wear a mask in the staging area. I don't think people are, just keen. And most of the people did not have their tinfoil hats on and about the pandemic because it is actually a thing. So there you go. Kudos to everyone, and thanks for coming out. And we'll be open next weekend for more paintball. And Tuesday nights will start up soon for those that need an additional 3-day fix like young Josh.
Neb Nella in the live chat wants to know or says, I bet Matt's Automag didn't go down. No, it did not, but his other one did. Lisa Weber says she's grilling on the back porch. Happy to hear that you guys had a great day of paintball. By the way, Lisa Weber, S&P, that's for me. Just a little salt and pepper on my steak. 3 minutes on each side. Thank you very much. Brian Foster is saying hi to Garvin, but nobody else. Yeah. Charles Holton said, I played today as well. Very strange. I guess the only thing strange was the fact that there was the aura in the air where you just knew you had to stay away from people, and that you were wearing a mask. Otherwise, that's it. Nothing really else changed. Everybody's spirits were high. Yeah, it was good. Coulter Wheeler says he was just happy to get out and play. I think people that he's been quarantined with were just happy that he got out.
And I'd like to thank Coulter for coming over to say hi to us, even though it's a pandemic. Don't be afraid, Coulter.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great day at the field. Lisa Weaver says pork chops tonight. You know what? It actually doesn't matter. Pork chops, you can always overcook pork chops and they're dry. I hate it. I want them slightly undercooked, just like a steak. You want them kind of medium. Yeah. Zane Smith says hi to Todd and Joe. Screw Gavin. Nice.
Hey, Zaniac, screw you.
Very good. So, guys, the link is in the live chat at the top. I also posted it a few minutes ago, too. So if you want to go in the description of the video, you guys can click on that. Use your first and last name when you sign in, just so that I know who it is. If you want to sign in as Brandy, go ahead. You just won't get on the show, unfortunately.
Oh, Brandy, you kissing.
And that's just how it is. Let's bring in one guy right now just to see if we can get this to work here. And hopefully Josh will be joining us very shortly as well. Hey, we have Timmy from Hunter Valley Paintball, Australia.
G'day.
Did I pronounce that right? Australia?
Certainly did.
Australia.
You're such a patient fellow.
Hey, what else you want me to do? I just get on the show and torment you guys to the best of my ability.
Well, we're going to put this week a little bit of soft music on in the background, something that you can dance to, and then we're just going to see what happens from there.
Drugs are bad.
And then we'll see your chili bins.
Chili bins, yes.
So we opened this weekend, Tim. We had some paintball players at our field. How are things with you in Australia? Are you doing your thing, or?
Yeah. I'm on fire. Actually, I went out there.
You can't say that because
not in Australia.
No,
that's bad.
Didn't they put those out a while ago?
With your help from your planes, yeah. Sent your bombers over.
And our firefighters. We wanted to save all the Joeys.
Yeah, plenty of those. But the more fire you light, the more Joeys are burned.
That's
so
true.
Everything goes up when you put a back burning. So yeah, I did me 15 years with the bushy down here, and 38 years with SES, and 4 years, and I've got my own. Somebody cut you do. It's all good. So I went out to paintball yesterday and set up, and I had the day wrong. They were coming in next Saturday. So what do you do?
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. I have some bad news, Tim. Because we are now open at our local field, this will be the last Saturday night show for a while. Because if you look into Joe and Gavin and my eyes, you can see the bags and tiredness. We're out of practice. And then rushing home and getting cleaned and stuff, and then having a show, it's kind of difficult. So this might be the last one for a little while on Saturdays. But we've all had such a good time on it. Once we get back into the groove, I think we might do a couple again.
Yeah, I think we can probably do a monthly Saturday night show or something like that. This won't be Saturday nights forever. but I think we'll probably be able to do some more once we get sort of once we get into groove.
A rhythm, yeah.
Yeah.
A rhythm.
Yeah. We know there's not going to be any events coming up anytime soon, so it's just a matter of kind of maintaining and developing the field and making sure that we're able to, continue to run, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know. I figured you were going to pull the pin on it. You look a bit tired, run down, old and haggard.
Thanks.
welcome to my world.
When you get to be my age, Tim, then you start to show your age.
Well, we can't be around you too much longer because you know how couples that have been around each other for so long start to look like each other. We feel like we're kind of looking haggard like you, and it's taking its toll on our.
I have that effect. Yes. I'm like a wart. I'll grow on you.
Yeah, we've been picking, but it's not falling off. So you're busy, you say?
No, I'm not busy. The phone's ringing. But it was funny. I had a private number ring me at 6:00 Saturday morning, and said, "Is this paintballing?" And I've just gone, "Are you serious? Are you really serious?" At 6 a.m. in the morning. And then she turned. She said, "You don't have to be effing like that." And I hung up on it. I just, 3 hours before I go to work, and here she's ringing.
So what you're saying is you're not a morning person.
Oh, I'm a morning person. I'm just not a customer morning person.
So somebody else should be answering the phone is what you're saying, right, Tim?
Well, with what's been going on, I thought it was a security company. That's why I answered.
Right.
And no, it was just somebody wanting to chase paintball. But she said paintballing, so I figured it might have been looking for another paintball field. Yeah. So it didn't matter.
We had a
question for you. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm curious about, as you're rebuilding your field again with a customer base, have you changed your marketing approach at all, or what are you doing to let people know you're back in business again?
Well, I've thrown up on the Facebook. I've just got to sort out the Google ads because they're the only ones that really work now. With the old yellow pages phone book that we used to have, that's way gone. Everything's social media. So I just need to work on the Google ads. It's probably the same as you guys.
We didn't have yellow pages. We had canary pages.
Canary pages.
Yeah, slightly different yellow.
Tim, at one point, we were in 23 different yellow page directories in southwestern Ontario. So we were in 23, anything from just south of Toronto to Hamilton to London, all these little small outlying areas. We used to be in 23 yellow page directories at one time. Now it's a non-existent form of advertising, and it used to be the only form of advertising that really worked. Now people don't even know what a yellow page is.
No. Well, that's how thick it is now. That's a new one.
Right.
But that used to be double the size.
I know.
So we used to and when if the coppers were pulling you over, the joke was, no, don't worry, I'll bring my own phone book, because that's what they used to beat you with, the phone book.
Yeah, because it wouldn't leave any bruises. I know.
BYO phone book. We walk into the cop shop.
So right now, Tim, I'm thinking that is a wonderful resource to level your table.
Yeah.
And your patio, right? So it's they've done quite well for you.
They keep sending them out. Have been known to wrestle around and get a drunken party a night at a motel and break the legs off the bed that we propped it up with a couple of phone books from a few other rooms and then left. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
So you guys were running around with masks,
surgical masks on? No, just in the staging area. So as soon as they go on the playing field, they swap them.
That's serious. Okay.
Yes, but we're allowed to be open.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a huge trade-off there. And I'll be honest, the guys that came out were just happy to be out. And, I mean, you could have told them that they could also only use one of their legs and they had to hop around on 1 foot all day, and they would have done that too because they just wanted to play. I mean, let's be honest. When was the last time you could do, with this pandemic, you couldn't do it. You can't do anything fun. You can't go to the movies, can't go out for a dinner at a restaurant, can't play paintball. Our shooting ranges finally just opened again. So, I mean, it's been pretty bleak for the last 3 months.
Yeah, it's been boring because you can't even go and throw rocks on the neighbours' roofs because they can't come out and chase you.
That's true.
What kind of life do you live?
Mine.
So I believe the term in North America is shit disturber. So I'm not sure if that translates well in Australia.
In Australia, it's a rock tosser.
Yeah. Shit stirrer is the word. Shit stirrer. Yeah.
That's a genre of film too, rock tosser.
I've had my business for 30 years, and I just got that tosser. Yeah, sorry, bit late. But I had before we shut down, we were spraying the goggles with a antibacterial spray, and it put a smell into the goggles. So rinsed them out. But I had a gentleman play last week, and he had a reaction on his cheek from the disinfectant that was sprayed on the goggles. And that's the first one I've had in 30 years of playing paintball with someone. So, I don't know whether the disinfectant is all that good for goggles. I don't know, but leave them sitting for a week out in the air, dries them. I'm not sure.
Apparently, Tim, plain soap and water it kills the bacteria. It's a fatty, COVID-19 is a fatty cell or fatty tissue, and just plain soap and water breaks it down. And they're also finding out that it doesn't live that long on surfaces as people originally thought. So, probably soap and water with a spritz of something, some food.
Are you
grade.
Jewish all of a sudden? A spritz?
I saw Miller today.
They're going to put some vodka in that?
Yeah, spritz. Spritz for my Brits.
Yeah.
So
That's what Gavin drinks when he goes out to the pub, white wine spritzers.
Yes, that's my drink.
Well, when
That's
they're all at a Zima, you got to have something, right?
What's that when they do a Catalina wine mixer?
That's right.
Catalina wine mix.
Catalina wine mixer.
Well, that's what we had today. It was wonderful to see paintball players who were very enthusiastic about being back out again. And as Joe and Todd mentioned, it was nice to have people who were understanding and tolerant of the global situation, right? So that they put their patient pants on, they understood that things were going to run a little differently, but just grateful to be out. And I'm really hoping that we have more support just like that for every field around the world, recognizing that fields are in the rebuild mode and have to adhere to different policies and procedures and protocols based on the region they're in. So it's not going to be the same, potentially, where you are. So just be aware that you're supporting small businesses, you're keeping paintball alive, and you get to go out and you can shoot people again, right? So just put your patient pants on and just recognize that things are going to take a little while to get back to normal. So we're grateful for everybody with their positive attitudes who support local fields and keep the sport alive.
Yeah. Hey, Ponage PB in the live chat says, just sub to your YouTube channel. Had no idea you even had one. Yeah, there was a while where we were actually streaming to Facebook as well, or to YouTube as well. But when we're doing Zoom and YouTube and Facebook at the same time, it tends to chew a lot of bandwidth. So right now while we're still doing Zoom, I think we're going to stay away from YouTube. But we also need to put out some more YouTube content. We haven't done that in a while, but there's a lot of good stuff out there if you want to check out our channel. But, sorry I've been slow on bringing people into the show, guys. If you want to be on, just click that link and put your first and last name in, and we'll try to get to it in just a minute. But because this might be the last time we get to talk to Timmy, thank God, for the next little while, this is we want to at least have an opportunity. You have a lot of strange people walking around the back of your throughout your house.
That's my social worker. She's my carer.
Nice.
That's her community service.
So she's coming to flip you over?
Oh, yeah. Roll me over so the bed sores don't ache.
Yeah, I'm curious, is it time for a diaper change or nappy change?
we call them depends. It depends whether it works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So, see, we're going into winter down here, and you're going into summer. So, June is really a quiet month for us. So August will be the start of where we should start to pick up because it goes into warmer months and then all the weddings and everything else. So, but at the moment, a little bit quiet. Mossy had a big weekend last weekend. I don't know what he had this weekend, but But,
what would be a big weekend for him? Number of players?
150, 200 people for the weekend. Those days are gone for me. That was back in the 07 to 011 where I'd have 180 people a day.
But what do you attribute that to?
We're getting softer. Video games are getting more technical, more realistic. And nobody wants to get any bruises no more. So we've got to bring back the cane in school so they can all get a flogging.
Nice. Yes.
Or issue phone books with their rental packages.
Phone book. I'm writing that down.
But having said that, Tim, so we saw a decline too in North America because of the video game generation. But with the advent of MagFed in Australia, you may have nice. You may have some people who have played Call of Duty, played all these first-person shooters online, who now want the real experience. So you may see a resurgence in your customer base if it's experience-based versus just sort of paintball marketed as well.
Yeah.
With the MagFeds that are coming in, exactly, there is a lot of interest in the MagFeds because it's not going to be spending as much, wasting a lot of paintballs. Is going to bring it back to a more strategic. And I think the airsoft players have been waiting for something like this to happen because now that the MagFed paintball guns, then they can go into the airsoft as well, and that would probably be a big resurgence in the industry for that. But I'm hoping that we'll go like same as you guys. You've still got the paintball players and that do both, enjoy playing both. The airsoft doesn't give you that welt, but you've got to have that welt so you know you've gone too far and you don't stick your head out as much.
Now, this is not an airsoft show, but I'm curious about how airsoft plays out in Australia with your tight restrictions.
See, all the airsoft guns are all marked off I'm not going to do it. Are all marketed off the M4 and
Exactly.
Designed off the M4, but you've got the gel blasters that are coming into Australia now, and they're all plastic with the plastic gearboxes, and they're virtually the airsoft gun, the mechanism. It's just the gel blaster instead of the BB. New South Wales, they're not legal. They're legal in Queensland, as in the states of Australia. But with that, it won't take long before they'll start to use that. We've got mag-fed paintball guns. Why can't they have mag-fed airsoft? But it's the type of the gun that they're looking at. And if airsoft made the guns a little bit different to looking like an M4, then that may open the avenue for airsoft to come in New South Wales. But it's only going to take one stupid person to drive around or do something stupid with a marker, and it's going to put us all back 20 years.
Yeah.
And we all know that.
Yeah.
Tim, question. You said you're coming into your winter now in Australia, which we know your 6 month or our seasons are flip flop. What's the temperature in Australia is in the winter? What does it how cold does it get typically?
Where I am, it can get down to 2 degrees Celsius. Now I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but
that doesn't matter. We're in Canada. We I can show my money has a picture of the Queen.
Oh, get out of town!
It's true. Really? Our money, yes.
Oh yeah.
We're not in the States. We're in Canada. We have red and shit in our flag and the Queens and all the things. So I know what a Celsius is and a kilometer is. I know what all that is. So I'm okay.
So yeah, we get down to 1. Where I am on the cold, you get a westerly overnight in the clear sky. But at the moment, we're sitting around 9s of a night time and around 15 to 17 of the day.
That's perfect paintball weather.
Oh, it is. But
yeah.
They've now that the bit of cold weather hits and they all want to run inside, and plus the COVID, so everyone's been inside doing nothing, and they're nice and warm and cozy, and they've finished doing all their home maintenance that the wives have put the 20 pages of list to do things. So I was hoping that they may have been all busting to get out, but I've had a few inquiries. But I've no paintball this weekend. There is paintball next weekend. So yeah, we just get the phone kicking off again, and hopefully all be good. What about so you guys? What's your daily temperature up there now?
We were, I don't know, we were 24 today with sun, and it was cool in the morning. It was 6 degrees, but it was 24 degrees. Last week we were in the mid 30s several days. It was pretty hot, and then our nighttime temperature those days was around probably 20. That's degrees Celsius. I can put it into Fahrenheit if you'd like.
What's that, 65, 70 or something?
You double it and add 32.
Oh, okay.
And then take away Fahrenheit.
6. Carry the 7.
No,
yeah.
15 and 15 is 15 degrees is 30, 62.
Neb Nella has a good point. He says, "Where's Zuby? You're talking airsoft." Yeah, we got to sneak it in when Josh isn't on the show. Josh is, unfortunately, hopefully he'll join us at some point tonight. Charles wants to know if this is a ref jacket. No, it's just a hoodie that I grabbed, unfortunately. It's a little obnoxious, but I knew Tim was going to wear blue tonight, so I wanted to not be in the same outfit.
Matches me eyes, yeah. after you get a headbutt.
Yeah.
So, man, it's yeah. I'm hoping that you guys are gonna go to more than one show a month. We need the Sundays, because Sundays I'm not really busy. Saturdays I am.
Yeah.
Oh, we can adjust our schedule to accommodate you if you'd like. You know, it's fine.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So hang on, 2 more. We got the Brady Bunch. 3 more.
So Tim, before I say hello to everybody else, one of the things I've been really grateful for this quarantine, and there's been few and far between things that I'm grateful for, was really an ability to connect with you. The other side of the world for us, it's wonderful to see what's going on in the world of paintball around the globe, and that's our common thread and our common bond together. So regardless of where we are on this planet, we all have a love for this game, and it was wonderful to connect with you. And I know that, we may do less Saturday shows, but if we do any Saturday shows, we certainly want you to be a part of that. So.
Absolutely. You joined in. You were watching Monday night as well, weren't you? We saw.
I had a squiggly at you, yes, exactly. Squiggly, yeah. Had a look.
Yeah.
So, yes, and it's all starting to get a bit too technical. Big words, playing amongst yourselves. Look boring to me. You needed some abusive people sitting on the page.
Yeah. You know what? We have a CRTC here that regulates our content, and they said there was way too much Aussie content, way too much Aussies on the roof. Yeah.
Way too much.
So we have to scale it back. So I appreciate you cutting the rest of your deadbeats and just you joining us tonight.
Yeah.
We appreciate your contributions from the land of Oz.
For sure.
You got Eric.
Queen.
Eric loved it that much that he imported one.
I did. Yes, and you want it back?
Eric, your microphone sounds pretty sassy there.
Oh, let me get it away from my face.
No, bring it a little closer. You're a little quieter than everybody else, anyways.
Okay.
But welcome to the show. We haven't had you on a Behind the Bunker since Paintball Extravaganza 2 years ago.
It's been that long. It's been crazy.
Yeah. What are you up to these days? Are you working on the dilithium crystals? Are you busy doing more custom stuff?
Actually, with COVID, costume stuff is on the way of the dinosaur at the moment. But we got something hopefully coming on in September. But I've been working on a paintball gun, hopefully for 2021, one of my own.
Nice.
And Fold a Gap, since I'm one of the 3 promoters there, has been taking all of my extra time. So.
And do you think Fold a Gap is gonna happen? Yeah, I guess it's a November game.
It's well, Airsoft is in October.
Okay.
Smaller game, and then November is the bigger game, and we think so. Of course, there's always the caveat that we have a resurgence of COVID and we have to cancel. So
Yes.
there is that.
Yeah.
Disclaimer on everything.
That's true. I know they moved the Republican National Convention from South Carolina to Florida because in August, because they wanted to do it in South Carolina with smaller numbers, and the guy in charge said no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
So I know they moved it to Florida where it's more of a free for all.
Yeah, it's a political thing, but politics, there's enough
Aside.
politics in paintball as it is.
No.
Yeah. Before this goes down the chat too far, Chica Estrada, my new favorite name, says, who plays with the 12-volt Revy view loader still? I think most of us have those. I still have one. Gavin, you still use yours.
I do not. Mine's broken, so
Gavin, I have something we can talk about.
I know, and I was asking you, Joseph, if you had any 9-volt Revy still.
I will look
Just
and see.
if you have the original 9-volt Revy, I would certainly steal one from you.
I think I have one.
Now you're just rubbing it in, Eric, with all your goods.
but I have one of the original ones, Eric, when they were made in Texas.
Well, with the good plastic or the bad plastic?
With the good plastic, you could drive a truck over the plastic.
Nice, very nice.
In the white box, still in their boxes.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
I'll
Charles
send you a
Holton
picture.
said he used 2 today, both 9-volt. Good for you. Good for you, Mr. Holton.
These people are lying just to make me feel bad.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Nebnell says it's his backup. I think they're fantastic. I think they're fantastic loaders and still hold up today, especially if you're going to even compete in NXL or any of these other tournaments. You don't need anything faster than a Revy anyways, because you're stopping at 10.5. So, are you hitting the NXL circuit this year, Eric? Is that why we haven't seen you? Are you putting in a couple teams?
No. I stepped on a speedball field once in my life, and that was enough.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Okay. Stand by. There we go.
Okay.
That wasn't me. That was John. I thought that was John Amoda, or Amoda signing in. So I clicked on John, and I shouldn't have. I didn't realize it was John.
But I want to hear the end of that song.
John,
I know. I was waiting for the hook. I wanted to hear the hook.
Eric,
But
I just sent messengered you some pictures.
Oh, I'll have to go look.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't open it. There's a bunch of you guys. Sorry, there's a bunch of you guys in the waiting room right now trying to get in. I don't recognize some of your names, so I'm not letting them in. If it just says iPhone, I can't do it. I just want to make sure it's whoever that's in there. So if you guys sign in through Zoom, use your first and last name, and don't use XXX because that's certainly not going to get you in either. People are trying that, and although I'm tempted and maybe a little curious, I don't think I can let you guys in right now.
It's because my real name is Bag of Chips, right?
A tube of Pringles.
Wayne, how are you? I just saw
Hey,
you.
Joe.
Bag of chips.
Yeah. I have to tell you though, Bag of Chips, one of the speedball kids today brought out a big bag of potato chips and cracked it open in front of me, and I nearly asked him for some. And then I looked at him and go, "Oh, did you bring that because you know you can't share?" And he's like, "Kinda." He goes, "Normally I can't bring anything before because everyone will get into it." And there's another kid that brought a big, and they don't make normal ba noises; they just natter at you with like an Australian accent.
They grunt. They grunt it.
One of the consistent comments I heard today from all of the people who played, there was a lot of gunning, but not a whole lot of running.
No.
COVID certainly impacted the cardio, and it was a slower paced game.
I bet.
Yeah.
A lot of lob shots.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was a lot of time between games, especially in the afternoon. People were really starting to slow down. Just give me a couple minutes. Can we? We're good for 10-minute break right now.
Yeah, I asked the ref for a long 5-minute break.
Even the gentlemen who were not playing MagPed were like, "We got to load our mags."
Here he is behind the container, bunking them out. There. Oh, I'm out. There.
But I watched Dwayne walk from his car to the staging area, and then he had to take a break. And that was in the morning before he played. I saw that. Don't think I wasn't watching.
You had to stop halfway, yeah. Like 10 feet away.
There's some pictures up there. We had two photographers out today taking pictures. We had Matt Vloden and we had Colin Gregg was out today as well. Colin Craig, so he'll have some pictures up. So there'll be some good images up. Matt Vloden didn't share them to the Facebook page. I had messaged him so I could share them to the Flag Raider page. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So we probably need to start bringing some ambulances out onto the fields. Paint them up and instead of having a siren, have them play the Mr. Whippy music like Greensleeves or something as they drive through.
On-site paramedics.
I'd be happy for an ice cream truck on the field right now. I mean,
That's
saying.
Mr. Whippy.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent to our Dickie D. So they have the trucks, but we have the guys with the bicycles. Cling, cling.
But an ice cream truck, no matter how tired the old guys are, they'll get up for an ice cream truck.
Ice cream.
Nothing like watching them pour the soft serve and their tongues going around their mouth when they're twirling it around to get it to go into the cone. Like,
Joe, why did you eat the ice cream off the floor?
That wasn't an image I needed. Thanks.
No, that was a little bit way too much disclosure from you, Tim. Dirty old man.
yeah, and then sneeze on it. You want it? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, went down. Move on.
Move on.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining in. And Eric, we haven't had an opportunity to chat with you for quite some time. I don't see a lot of you on social media these days. Are you still busy, or how's things in your world?
Busy. I mean, my life didn't change because of COVID. 40-hour-a-week job plus, so sometimes 50 hours. So that gets in the way.
What I hear is complaining.
No, I have a paycheck. I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But then paintball stuff. Testing some stuff I can't talk about at the moment that fires nerfs.
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
just
Expect by Fulda, one of the Nerf manufacturers, to have a new Nerf launcher out. So
wow,
That's
playing
cool.
with that. Yep.
So I will definitely want to come to Fulda to be shot with the Nerf rocket.
There's enough Nerf rockets that if you want, we can arrange that somebody will shoot you. Just saying.
Sure.
I can put out we could put out a bounty.
Yeah.
You know,
I love
give things
everything
away.
about Fulda. The Nerf things are still, I find them, if they're for tanks, absolutely. But if they're taking out a building that I'm in, I don't like that.
Understood. We are changing some of the rules for that this year. I'm actually making Nerf hits on the bunkers take out a 3-foot radius around the building as well.
Oh,
Blast
no. Oh, you're a bastard.
Everybody stacks up on the back side and you shoot the front, nobody's in the building. Okay, we can fix that.
Yeah. So somehow are you getting kickback on Nerf rockets? Is that what this is all about?
Not at all. No, not at all. It's I like what it adds to the game. I really do.
Yeah.
It has to be refed judiciously, though. So.
Yeah.
running out with a tape measure.
We're actually going to burn a circle in the ground around the bunkers, so it'll be marked.
Burn it?
Nice.
Burn it or paint it. We're probably going to burn it.
Nice.
And up goes the
Crazy.
bunker.
Nice.
Realism. There's realism. It's on fire.
Hey, we started bunkers on fire at D-Day. Why not at Fulda?
That's true.
Goes the styrene. Yes, exactly.
Now here's someone we
So-
haven't seen in a while, Mr. Devin Schwartz. Sorry, Eric, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just saw someone new join in here, and I got excited.
The Schwarzenegger.
The Charminator!
There you go.
Oh, don't
There he
encourage
is.
each other. Nice. Thank you for being on the show, my friend. Thanks for signing in.
Well, it's been, like 2-3 months you guys have been doing this Saturday thing?
Yep.
figured it was about time.
Well, now that you've been on, we are going to officially say that this is the last Saturday night show we're going to do for a little while, just because our field's open now, and Saturday nights are going to be a little bit hard for us to deal with. So we're going to maybe try to do once a month when we know that we can gear up for it, but we can't leave Timmy hanging. We like having him on the show, and I like having you guys on the show, so it's nice to do this for sure. I want to know, I've seen a couple of your videos, and I also seen that you have a custom shirt.
Oh, yeah. I definitely got a custom shirt.
I gotta see some pictures, or send a pic when you get a chance. I wanted to see that. That was awesome.
Definitely. There's actually 2 of those shirts in existence.
Oh, and thank you for sending the other one.
Oh, no. We're working on yours. We're going to make an extra special one just for you.
Oh, no, I don't want to hear that.
And
Medium.
as far as the very first edition, they're a limited run.
Nice.
So I got one of 2, and Rampage has got the other one.
Richie
Okay, Todd,
Rampage
what's in the
Santos.
Yeah, he's the one who came up with making the red and yellow behind the bunker logo.
Nice. In answer to your question, Eric, it's Pims. It was Rye, but I switched over to Pims. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's acceptable. Oh, well. But are you playing? You are playing, because I've seen some of your live videos. How are things at your field?
Well, after not playing for about 2.5 months, I kind of broke my normal routine, which is playing every other week or twice a month. I've actually played the last 3 weeks in a row, and I'm contemplating going tomorrow. My nephew's here. He's 17. He's been dying to try it out. That's reason enough for me.
What the heck? Judy.
Oh, boy. Tim, you sent me a couple of pics. I'm going to see if I can load them up for you, too.
Oh, yeah, they're clean. And you'd have to turn the volume up on them. I just, I was talking about doing that gate so where they knocked over the big concrete blocks and whatever. So I built a new gate and we finished it yesterday. So if they're going to try and break in now, they're going to bust their car up real good. But, so, yeah, you got to love DeWalt tools. Oh, is that a throw out to DeWalt? Want sponsorship?
Are you looking for sponsorship? Because it's not going to happen from here.
No. There's no way they're going to be punching through those gates.
That's quite impressive, my friend. The only thing it's missing, and I don't know if it's there, maybe you've already thought of it, but is a little bit of not a little, but some electricity.
Oh, no, we got solar. We're technological.
No, but I mean, as far as like a little bit of jolt going through there.
Yeah. We thought about putting razor wire on the top of it just to make it look cozy.
Nice. Good for you. Good for you.
But weren't you trying to move away from the terrorist organization listing that you had?
Well, they were only counting 21 of them. So if I stay above 21, then they're only looking for the 21 of them. So, but yes. Well, it just makes it purry. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my claim to fame for this week.
Nice. Nice.
Well done, but clearly it was an expense you didn't want to pay, right? It was not sort of the cost of doing business, but the cost of keeping the no good nicks away, right? So
those no good nicks.
It's funny looking at your picture with your car on the left-hand side of the road, because you guys drive on the same side of the road as they do in Britain, because you're part of the Commonwealth too.
And I drive on any side of the road. There's nothing like driving in America, or like down the in America through Walmart, and I'm on the wrong side of the lane, and I'm looking at these people coming at me and get to go, "What are you doing, dickhead? Move over!" And it's me. I'm on the wrong side of the lane.
That's true.
Yeah.
So now you can acknowledge it. You're the dickhead.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. If the boot fits, exactly. But whenever I go, like in America or here, I just make sure that those double yellow lines are down the side of the car that I'm driving on, because then I can't go wrong. So left or right, that's it.
Yeah.
How about paintball?
Oh, it's left or right, doesn't matter.
Australia from America.
Either side of the bunker, either side of the container, you just lean out and shoot. Doesn't matter, left or right.
You allow all paint, all calibers, all colors.
Yep. Oh, we got colours. Are you allowed to say that?
It's not offensive. It's fine.
There's no banned color.
Multiple coloured paintballs are the best. The worst paintball was the white one because that looked like a pelican had just dumped on you.
Yeah, we use a lot of white because we have indoor facilities and they are white fill only, so we use a lot of that during the winter season. But the only paint that I'm not a fan of, and I know that people are going to disagree with me on this, but I just don't like red fill. I think that red fill is it's just scary when you're a field operator to see any red on anybody coming off the field. And I get that red it's cool and everything. I just can't get past it. It's scary. It's scary to see it. You know?
Yes. I was just going to go look for that photo that I had where I got shot in the nose with a paintball when I was taking photos. And the claret running out in amongst the yellow paintball.
See, Gavin thought something happened to your nose, and we talked about it today. And you're right, Gavin.
Yeah, I was taking.
Can you refresh my memory? What I said?
You said, "What's with Tim's nose? You think something happened?" Yeah.
Oh yeah. It matches the rest of the face. It was hit with a foam ball. So, oh no, someone's got to lead the way.
Yeah.
Make it look good through that door. But
So Devin, here's a quick question: your jersey, does it have a Behind the Bunker logo on it, or do we need to start looking at you guys getting some new jerseys?
Oh, but it's got GI Sports.
That's awesome. Oh, look at that! Awesome.
Hey, the banner does too, brother.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Good
We're on
for you.
fire. Thank you for your support.
And his garden
we
gnome
love
as
Behind
well.
the Bunker. We've been following you guys for years.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you know what? Some people.
Devin, I was mentioning your garden gnomes that you have on your page as well.
Oh, those are at Rampage's house. He's got the true TK headquarters.
Yeah, why?
He started before me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your watching and listening for so long. And I know some people are they like to get hurt and they like the pain, you know. And if that's what it is about this show, then I appreciate that. But thank you for being a loyal supporter for sure.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah. Oh boy, I can't. I hate to say it, but I'm exhausted. Today knocked the crap out of me. We've had 3 months of COVID comfort with lots of eating, no exercise, and then we go out to the field, and just after one day, it really knocks you on your ass. Like, I will sleep tonight.
You're going to sleep real good.
Why, when Tim sends me a picture, do I get, oh my God.
That's D-Day. The things you get up to at D-Day. But Eric can vouch for that. Jeez, and my antics. People don't understand it. Paintball Pete apologises to everybody for me.
This is why I need virus software on my computer, Timmy.
You're going to catch something.
Yeah, and who is that? Is that you, Timmy?
Yeah, that was me in my festively plump Christmas outfit. So, but yeah, there's your plastic bones in the boxes.
Oh.
That was a good year. We had a good year that year.
Yeah, your butt's gone downhill since then.
Yeah, a bit of cellulite. slappy. So,
now, Tim, how often do you guys travel internationally for play?
Me, D-Day. Since 2011, I've been coming over to America to play at D-Day. 2015 was a big year for me. That's when I did Living Legends, went over to Denver, played there, and then back to D-Day. So I was in America for 5 weeks, and that gets a bit lonely, motel rooms and me fifth wheeler out at D-Day. But I enjoyed it, and that was my first dose of airsoft as well. The other game was before D-Day, and I played that one. So, but yeah, it was good to travel around. I've been to Folder twice and ruined the boys down there and educated them on dumb drunken Australians, and as I said, Pete apologises profusely for it. But but we don't get the big games over here that you guys get. People don't want to travel. People don't want to buy their own gear. and that's the biggest thing. The MagFed may be the change where people want that more realism, like the video games, where there's only a limit around 20 rounds or whatever, then you can pull that out and change a mag as opposed to 200 pellets and lob and whatever. Who knows? We'll probably never have the big games that you guys have, but it's good to go over there and Pete told me the first time I was there, when you get shot, run. But and I'm standing there walking out because I was a bit lazy, and you're getting shot by 20 other people because they didn't see your arm up because of the trees. But it's education to the big games. It's just there's a toilet to your left.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have a comment, Tim. Sometime in the next week or two, you and I can have a conversation on Zoom or something. And I'll sort of explain. I can give you my take on MagFed versus HopperFed. Just you and I can have a conversation.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all good.
All right, good. And I'm curious, has a game ever been attempted in Australia?
We've had Steve run a big game from Hot Shots Paintball. There is one in Sydney that a lot of people turn up to, but he puts the punts throws the punters in to make up the numbers. And the punters do their painting in the first few hours, and they're gone. So then the numbers are all struggling. But people don't have a lot of their own guns, and they're just happy to come out, rent a gun, throw the jumpsuit on, shoot the bilio out of whatever walks around, and then go out on turf.
So for those people that may not know, punters, do punters bring Eskies and chili bins? What is a punter? Is a punter a rental?
Customer, yeah, a punter,
okay.
a repeat offender, There you go. As they come in. So, but that's the punters, and Pete started calling them punters, so it's only come from there. We weren't. Australia wasn't big on people buying their own gear. You're talking about what's the first. You go and try your goggles and buy your goggles and that. In America, you guys are all wanting to buy your own goggles, so you don't go out. They go out on the field. Here, no one's interested in buying their own goggles. They just want to rent them and scratch the crap out of them and get going.
But a couple of years ago, people would definitely buy their own equipment. But the last 5 to 10 years, the newer generation, they don't buy stuff anymore. They'll happy to rent it, and that's it. But I mean, they don't want anything. They don't want to buy it and have it because they're only going to come out once a year, if that. We were the consumer generation. We're the ones that used to buy stuff.
Oh, exactly, because you just wanted to turn up with your own gear. But there's nothing like watching someone with all their own gear turn up and sit at a trestle table, picnic table, whatever you want to call them, and that table is now covered in all of their gear that nobody else can sit at.
Yeah,
I like trestle table. That's wicked.
Yeah, I drove over a train trestle on the way here.
But Tim, does everybody want that guy on their team then?
They all sit there and go, "Oh, I don't want to play. I don't want to play against him. I want to be on his side because he's got all the gear."
Yeah.
And then you walk over and go, "It doesn't matter about the gear. It's the person that's using it."
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
But you don't know that as a noob. As a noob, I wish I would have went and got myself a set of camouflage because then I would have been invited on everybody's team because people would have thought I knew what I was doing. He's got camouflage. He's got to be good. I want him on my team.
It's the same thing here, Tim. The number of equipment owners has dropped drastically in the last 5 or 6 years as people are not buying. They want an experience, so they'll do things for an experience, and they won't. So the millennial generation, they don't need to buy stuff. They just have an experience, and they don't even need a whole day experience. They just need a couple hours. It's really what it boils down to. If you look at the number of players that go from playing all day to a half day or 2 or 3 hours, people are so busy, they have so much going on, and then it's like going to a movie. You 2 or 3 hours for a movie. Even the NBA is looking at reducing the amount of time for an NBA game. Golfing's gone from 18 holes to 9 holes.
Who watches golf?
Pardon?
Who watches?
No, not what. But people play golf. Like people are looking for ways to make things quicker. Like
we play beer a hole.
Beer a hole. Okay.
Beer a hole. Yeah. Nobody's smacking that 18th one, I'm telling you.
What are your rental markers at Hunter Valley Paintball?
98s. The Tipman 98s. I started
Upgrade?
with the. Sorry.
Any upgrades? Response trigger, E-grip, anything like that?
Only going to the Planet Eclipse, the Ether 2s. They're the upgrades. I've got a few of them that are playing up at the moment, so I need to find out what I'm doing wrong.
Tim, Joe's got a good suggestion for you for your Model 98s as an upgrade. Doesn't cost much and it'll make you a lot of money.
We'll talk next week.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But it's a good idea.
I know you're excited, and you won't be able to sleep until we have a conversation.
I like how Tim said that. Oh, good.
Oh, good. Worst nightmare.
Hey,
It's not gonna cost me much.
we're getting close to the end of the hour here, but I wanted to ask, while we have Devin and Eric on, I kind of wanted to find out from them on the state side, big games and scenario games. What are the latest kind of trends that you're seeing with the big games? Do you think that, okay, put COVID aside, if that didn't happen, was this going to be the year for bigger and better big games, or are you finding it in a decline?
It all depends on the game. I mean, I was thinking, and we're still thinking, that Fulda will be larger than years past, especially now that COVID happened, because everybody's going to want to get out. The other games that have been coming up, there's the other bigger games that have just opened. They're seeing smaller numbers, at least in our area in the Carolinas, because people aren't getting out yet. They're almost afraid to get out, or they don't have the money.
Yeah. Devin, what about you?
Well, to be honest, big games were subjects for me. I had all planned, laid out to go to EMR's 25th anniversary Castle Conquest. You know, it was going to be 25 cents admission. As long as you got a case of paint, it was going to be great. So now things have shuffled around and rescheduled. I'm planning on being a general for a scenario at Liberty Paintball in August, and that's still a go. New York has reopened up the parks and everything. I spoke to the owner at OSG yesterday, and I asked him in confidence before I got into a season pass for this year how many scenarios he'd be running. He said there'd be 3. So that's going to be nice. Usually they like to slot them out about 1 every other month.
Yeah. So
like 4 within the season. So you figure 3 scenarios, and if they do have to put a player cap, it'll be about 150. The staging areas have changed drastically. They've moved the picnic tables basically into the parking lot to allow more space in between the tables. And when players move about the field, if it is a big game, they're obviously going to observe social distancing guidelines per their state, and like groups of 10 walk, groups of 10, and just try to keep it. We don't want anybody to, get sick.
Yeah.
We want to still have fun.
Yeah.
At my local field, there hasn't been any big games, but as far as the rec ball goes, it's been fun. I can't wait for the first big game. I do believe, if it's still a go, EMR, August 8th and 9th, that's where they moved the Castle Conquest game
Now,
to.
this is not a platform for promotion, Devin. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just saying, right now,
Yes, it is.
in June, I still don't know if, that's still going to be what it was, Right now, as announced, that's what it's been moved to. It's been postponed to that date. But we don't know what's going to happen in July,
For the latest information, news, and analysis of the Los Angeles Lakers and the NBA, check out the Lakers Fast Break podcast every Tuesday night at 9, right here at RTFSportsNetwork.com.
The snow is melting and it's starting to warm.
Is this for the new commercial?
This is the new commercial. We're recording. Why is it you always cut me off?
Guys, calm down. Let's just start it over.
It's too late. We have to start our show, which is Twist, the weekend sports talk, where you can hear banter like this with sports and interviews. Hear us on the RTF Sports Network, Mondays at 8 Eastern. Also, like our page on RTF Sports Network and check us out at rtfsportsnetwork.com.
Coming up next here on the RTF Sports Network.com radio network is Lakers Fast Break. Full hour talk of NBA at Los Angeles Lakers talk. Enjoy.
It's time to go back to work. There's a lot to do. We have things to make, stuff to build, cargo to ship, customers to serve. So grab a 5-hour energy and get ready. For 16 years, through good times and bad, 5-hour energy has been there helping hard-working people get stuff done. It's time to go back to work. Let's roll up our sleeves and get going. For more information and to order online, visit 5hourenergy.com.
Hey, it's Gerald from Lakers Fast Break. Anchor is the easiest way to make your next podcast. It's absolutely free, and their creation tools will allow you to record and edit your show right from your phone or your home computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on great podcast outlets like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started on your next podcast. Back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Pop Culture Cosmos, Lakers Fast Break, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our great shows. If you get a chance, please, not only my guest shows, but also mine as well. If you can give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we would truly appreciate it. We cannot thank you enough for doing so. If you also like internet radio, go ahead and check us out on the Discover Community Network, on their podcast outlets, and then also as well, you can check us out every Monday and Wednesday on the RTF Sports Network. But my friends out there, just wanted to go ahead and say thank you for listening. You know, when we're recording this, it is a truly important and historic day, June 19th, Juneteenth. Everything is being celebrated right now as far as, especially in light of what's going on. And I just wanted to go ahead and say I appreciate my guest for being here on such an important day. And he is back once again, just a truly awesome guest every time out. He is not the New York Knicks general manager, but he plays one on YouTube. You can check out that great video today. If he was the New York Knicks GM, what would he do? You can check that out on NBA Draft Junkies. Plus, also check out his awesome podcast, NBA Draft Junkies, as well. And again, give that a 5-star review. Plus his site, NBADraftJunkies.com. He is the man behind it all. It is Rafael Barlow. And Rafael, again, thank you for taking the time to speak to me on such an important day.
No problem. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Oh, absolutely. I think I've gotten you in the habit of becoming a podcast guest because I saw your appearance that's on an upcoming episode of Catch You on the Rebound podcast right there. So looks like you're becoming a wanted man out there.
Maybe in small circles, but it's always good to be able to talk about stuff that I enjoy talking about, and obviously basketball. The Catch Me on the Rebound podcast. It was a little bit about basketball. I had a basketball foundation, but it was more so about just mental health. And so it was different for me to talk about that as opposed to, or at least talk about that on a public forum.
Well, if you ever want to go ahead and speak out on it here or speak about how people can find out more information or anything that you feel you want to talk about, the floor is always open for you right here at the Lakers Fast Break.
I appreciate that.
No problem, my friend. And yes, we are going to touch on your time and your tenure working, unfortunately, for James Dolan as the New York Knicks GM later on in the broadcast. Not only your time doing it and what your plans are for doing that role of GM again going forward, but I want to hear the inevitable feedback that you got from New York Knicks fans, because I was talking to Stone Hansen the other day about his mock drafts and whatnot, and I said, do you get the kind of feedback that Rafael Barlow gets on the New York Knicks? He said, no, but I'm not exactly, he just, the way he was alluding to it, it just seems like you're not the only one that gets that kind of feedback from New York Knicks fans.
Yeah, I mean, they have a large fan base, just like the Lakers, and I imagine if I would have put myself out like this last year with the Laker fan base and I had, I don't know, someone that fans didn't like. Well, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily someone fans didn't like. It's just there's so many fans and there's going to be a divide regardless.
If there was a high draft pick, like the year that they had Lonzo Ball or the year that they had Brandon Ingram, that's probably you would have gotten the same type of feedback from Lakers fans, because, as you know, Lakers fans can be kind of vocal in their opinions from time to time. So.
Especially if they were picking like 6th or 7th. If it's number 1 or number 2, there's not many options as far as who you think would take number 1 or number 2. But 6 or 7, especially in a draft like this, the bigger the fan base, the more people that are going to agree with the pick, but the more people that are going to dislike it. So, but that's just part of putting yourself out there when you have like a podcast or a website. You've got to deal with the good and the bad.
This is true, my friend. This is all too true. I mean, you're talking to someone here who's received comments of praise, and he's also received many comments as well about my voice, which I've told you off the air, which I won't go into detail here right now. But yes, I know. But it's going to be a great show we got for you today. We're going to be talking about a lot of issues heading to the NBA. And first off, thank goodness Adam Silver is bald, because if he wasn't bald, he would have lost all of his hair by now with all the things that are going on as we're just making the final decisions on which NBA players are going to Orlando, because they must decide by the 24th. They were handed this week, or they were sent out this week, a 100-plus page outline for the coronavirus in the Orlando bubble. So I want to hear your thoughts, and this is going to lead also into the divide amongst players. I know you heard about it. I mean, I understand it's very restrictive, and it's very precise and specific, but it is outlined in its detail to go ahead and prevent players as best as possible, whoever heads down to Orlando, from getting this virus.
Yeah, I understand why some people don't like it, because it may seem like they're being treated like kids. I actually saw a tweet where it was a parent that saw, I guess he read the whole outline, and he said it was pretty much the same thing as when they had the junior NBA tournament there. So basically these professional athletes and multimillionaires are pretty much getting the same treatment that the 12 and 13-year-olds got when they played at the junior NBA Worldwide Sports. But I understand why the NBA is being so strict, because, I mean, the numbers aren't going down. I mean, you look at the numbers, especially even in Florida. I live in Texas, and the numbers in Texas are going up. And so, I mean, it's all money motivated. The league wants to generate that, or, the revenue, because I think I read it's like $900 million or something like that. So, of course, they want to play, but they also want to make sure that the players are safe and protected, because, if it's, and I don't want to just name a name, but if it's the 9th man in the rotation for the New Orleans Pelicans, it's not going to have the same impact if it's LeBron or Kawhi or Giannis. And so they just really want everyone to be in this bubble and make sure everyone's safe. Then I heard, I forgot who it was, but it was on the Ringer podcast where they said LeBron needs to be in bubble wrap and he needs to ride around in the Pope Mobile.
I heard that as well. I remember that being said.
Yeah. And it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, because I think if something were, if he were, God forbid, but if he were to test positive for it, I think the league would probably shut down.
Exactly. I mean, Kawhi and Giannis, you want them also in hazmat suits running around there.
Yeah.
Of anyone, if LeBron gets it and LeBron is affected by it, not only does it hurt the Lakers' chances, but it hurts the visibility of the league as a whole. And I get that. Yeah, I understand the ramifications, not just as far as from a team standpoint, but from a league standpoint as well. And this goes into what I wanted to talk to you about, because now the players know exactly what they're facing down there in Orlando. There's not as much guesswork as there was a week, 2 weeks ago when we first started talking about this. They now know what is going to be required by the NBA, especially if they want to go ahead and maybe step out for a Black Lives Matter protest that may be taking place in Florida, or they can fly to a local state nearby or anything like that. They can't come back and automatically pop back in. They need to go ahead and self-quarantine for a few days, 4 to 10 days specifically, and all the other things that are out there. In fact, also from a standpoint of, older coaches, they've been very up in arms, especially because Adam Silver on national television stated that, they were going to be putting some guidelines in place for coaches, and, you can't do that as far as any type of restriction, because there are certain laws against that, as far as against age or anything like that. So the Coaches Association kind of put the whammy on that, but still the NBA had to do some backtracking, and it wasn't out of any ill will. It was just out of looking out for these coaches. But again, if these coaches are willing to go ahead and undergo that risk, like a Popovich, like a D'Antoni, like an Alvin Gentry, who I think are the 3 oldest coaches, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
If they're willing to take that risk, and the teams to say, you know what, let's do it, we need our coach, I don't know how you can stop them from doing so, or anybody that's of any importance that wants to be part of that 37-man man or woman contingent that is going to Orlando for each team.
Yeah, it's just so much to take in, because...
And again, that's why Adam Silver, if he wasn't bald, he would be bald now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's had a lot of long days trying to, just put all this together, talking to health experts, talking to players and coaches and ownership. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. And, there's a great debate about whether they should be playing or not. Some people are just cancel the season. But, we live in America, and, it's a capitalistic society. So $900 million is a lot of money on the table.
And almost $500 million of that goes to the players under the 50-50 split.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's tough because there's so many, like I keep saying, there's so many different factors. I mean, you have the players' injury. You may have a short off season. Whether you start up next year. I mean, I don't envy Adam Silver and his staff for the hours that they put in trying to put this together.
Absolutely, because it's very detailed. In fact, it had even the kind of blessings from Dr. Fauci looking at it and said if any league was trying to be successful at getting through this coronavirus with their season, it would have been the NBA, because they're specifically outlining so many things in detail and trying to control things as best they can. Even though you're not supposed to say control things in this bubble format, it is a sense of control, because you're not trying to intentionally control the players. You're trying to intentionally control the virus and keep that away from any of the players from getting sick. But like you were saying, if there are people out there that say it's just close down the season, just shut it down, cancel it altogether, but that's another quandary, because if they cancel the season, the owners can pull out the force majeure and rip up the CBA.
Yeah. But the part that I thought was hilarious was they can't play doubles in ping pong, but they can play defense. Like what's the difference?
Yeah. It just is crazy. And, it makes it even crazier for Adam Silver because of the call that took place a week ago as we're recording this with Kyrie Irving and Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard and several other players. In fact, rumored up to 100 players that are very concerned a lot about the social aspect of this and the social issues that need to be addressed in our society still even to this day that are being talked about and protested about every single day. And they want to know if they're not going to get, when they go to Orlando in this type of bubble, if they should make that commitment. They're saying maybe they shouldn't make that commitment and stay home and be part of a bigger movement, while other players are saying, hey, we need to go because we need to earn a living, we need to earn money, we need to go ahead and be able to provide not only for our families but be able to contribute monetarily and also make a statement for Black Lives Matter as far as the foundations and so many great things that you can contribute to. We can contribute more by playing. So you have this kind of tug of war between it. And, you know, I know some of the flack has gone, well, actually a lot of flack has gone the way of Kyrie Irving because of the fact he wouldn't even be playing. And this all, I mean, the rhetoric started when he was told he couldn't go down to Orlando because he's injured. And I know a lot of his past and things he said in the past, the flat earth and, you know, all the other things he said as far as his beliefs. But still, what he's saying now is very poignant. It's very important. And a lot of people are listening among the NBA. Avery Bradley, Dwight Howard, they're very set as far as their position right now. They're very uncertain as far as going. And, you know, there's so many other players that have not been named, I'm sure, feel the same way.
Well, I personally don't know what sitting out does. I don't know if it helps. I mean,
Kyrie even talked about playing in gathering a league together for the guys there. I was wondering how is that going to bring out more awareness than maybe what the NBA would do? Or am I missing something?
Well, I did see Taylor Rooks report that wasn't true. He wasn't involved with that.
Okay.
And it seems like the writer for, I can't think of his name right now, that covers the Nets, he was the one that reported it, and it just seems like a lot of different people ran with it. I also think Kyrie is low-hanging fruit. So I don't know if that is true that he said that players need to start their own league or not.
I agree with you, though, that he is a easy target because of his past things he said and who he is and where he is right now. I agree with you on the fact that he is a specific target. But when individuals like Avery Bradley come up to the forefront and speak out loudly on social media about this, I think that builds a lot more weight and has a lot of people saying, you know what, you can't laugh this off. You can't joke this off. It's not, I understand what Kyrie Irving has said in the past, but what Kyrie Irving is saying right now is real, and there's a lot of people like Avery Bradley that are right behind him on that.
Well, I do believe that Kyrie and Dwight needed Avery Bradley to add some credibility to what they're saying.
I agree.
It would be very easy to put those two in a box and say, well, you guys? I mean, based off of their past and how people feel about them. So Avery Bradley, I think, did add some credibility to what they were saying. But I still don't understand how sitting out would really change anything. I just feel like with the platform they have, with the lack of sports on TV, all the eyes would be on the NBA. I think that they could do more by playing than by sitting out.
Because you're thinking the games are going to be on TNT, more games are going to be on ABC. This is going to be something that's going to be on prime time very much. A lot of prime time games that are going to be a lot of eyeballs more than ever on the NBA. Not more than ever per se, but more than what we were seeing in the first part of the season.
I mean, I wouldn't say more than ever is a stretch. There's no sports on TV. I mean, it's been, as of today, 100 days since the NBA's been gone. And there's still like 41 days left. So, 41 days until the season is supposed to start up. And then people who watch baseball may start tuning into basketball because it doesn't look like there's going to be any baseball this summer. So, yeah, and I think with everything that's going on, all the attention to the NBA from the social aspect and the basketball aspect, I don't think it's a stretch to say the most eyes will be on the NBA now.
Well, that could be very well said. And as far as it could be well, for the league, it would be great, obviously, with that many people watching it, because the lack of things that are out there as far as sports to watch. But that's also great for the players if there's a message that they want to get across, because the league right now, in its current shape and with the environment that we are in now, the players have a great advantage of going ahead and using it as a platform for change, even more so now than ever.
Yeah, I mean, and we've talked about it before on past episodes that the NBA is by far first and for, just first as far as like allowing players to be outspoken about social issues. And this, in my opinion, is just a bigger platform for the players and the league as a whole to stand behind what they've been saying about change and social issues.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a lot of decisions made in the coming days, and we'll keep you up to date right here on the show. Very interested to see who goes and who stays, whether it's for the coronavirus, whether it's to support the current movement that's out there. I'm very interested to see, and if Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard, are two of the individuals that decide to stay, because they have to inform the league by the 24th, if I'm not mistaken, whether or not they want to go ahead to Orlando. That's a pretty big hit for the Lakers. I understand it's not LeBron and AD, but still, those are two better players as far as in their rotation that play solid defense for them.
I'm, like everybody else, is curious to see if anybody actually does decide not to play. Because, I mean, let's be honest, even if you decide not to play, you may not be penalized at that point, but I think it will be a hit on your reputation. I think it will have an impact on your free agency, on how teammates view you privately. I mean, I think people would understand a little bit, but at the same time, I think if you're an owner or general manager, I think that it will have a negative impact on your reputation.
Even someone like Joe Ingles, who has family members at home, I think he has a son or a daughter that is health challenged, that if he should bring it home as far as coronavirus could impact his child. That kind of time of issue, family issues. And I'm sure there are other players out there. I'm sure for in fact, JaVale McGee and also as well James Harden, they have suffered from asthma. So they're at higher risk as far as if contracting the coronavirus. I don't know. I mean, I understand that as far as, other teammates looking down on them possibly going forward in the future, but I can see it as just as much as if you want to go ahead and support the social cause, supporting the health aspect of it, and you decide not to go would be very warranted. And I'm not necessarily sure that you should look down on that as well, or if you're a teammate of theirs going forward.
Yeah, I don't think publicly anybody will, but, I mean, just think about it. If James Harden decides not to play, I think that will put a stain on his reputation, even if he's doing it for the right reasons. I mean, a lot of times fans or even the media aren't logical, remember Vince Carter was criticized for wanting to be at his graduation because it was a playoff game. And, yeah, it's a playoff game, and he played more playoff games than he had graduations. But in the way the NBA is today, even in sports period, you're considered like a hero. Like, I've seen the stories of guys playing the game the day a loved one passed away. And in reality, if it was your regular job, you wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
But if, like Isaiah Thomas, when he played, when his sister passed away, he was, a lot of people gave him credit for that, which he deserved. But it's a double standard, I feel like, as far as athletes.
Absolutely. I mean, even as we were kids growing up, we had the jerseys on. Who did we idolize? We didn't idolize, we idolized our family members, and then we idolized the players, players that we wanted to be like, whether it was baseball, basketball, football, whatever sport. I mean, that's why we had the jerseys on our backs as a kid, and it's just, I understand that because they're looked up to. by so many millions of people, whether they're young or old. And I think now is a great time for them to go ahead and get across what they want to get across as a unit, as a group. And the NBA is willing to go ahead and pretty much say, you know what, the floor's yours. And go ahead and make your point. And like with all the eyes that you and I both think are going to be watching this, I think it's a great time to send that message and make sure that it's sent forward. And you know what, if it ruffles some feathers, so be it.
Yeah, and I think some guys may not want to play, and it may not necessarily be all related to the health issues or social issues. It's just they probably mentally checked out in March. They didn't think that there was going to be, an ending to the season. So for them to get back into that mind frame of competing and ramping it up after you haven't done anything for a few weeks. And, think if you're like the Suns, you have to go – I think they have to win, every single game just to have a shot. So it's pretty unrealistic for that to happen. But imagine you have to ramp it up and get in shape for a couple weeks and then go back to doing what you were doing before. So I think some guys may just be mentally checked out. And then also some players may, if they're a free agent, it hasn't really been talked about too much, but if you're Jason Tatum or Donovan Mitchell and you have, we don't know what the cap is going to look like next year, but let's just say it's based off of the projected numbers. They could sign for $180 million this offseason, and Giannis could sign for $250,000. It's kind of, $250 million. It's kind of crazy to hear that number thrown out there. But it may be smart for them to sit out and risk injury. But the backlash would be horrible if you say, hey, you know what, I want to maximize my earning potential. I don't want to take the risk, so I'm not going to play after sitting out a couple months. But I think peer pressure will force guys to play, even if they really don't want to play, because some guys don't want to be the one that sits out, or, I can't imagine a Laker deciding, you know what, I'm going to be the one, especially like a key rotation player that says I'm going to be the one, or be the one that gets the blame for people saying, well, you know what, if such and such play, LeBron would have won his 4th title.
That's true. But there's still players like Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Bradley Beal, like you said, have to gear up, have to go down there, be in the bubble, gear up, go ahead, work out, get in shape, get mentally motivated to play maybe 2-3 meaningful games at best, and then for the rest of the time maybe get sat out because the team doesn't want to go ahead and risk their health long term. So basically they would be there for 2-3 games realistically and meaningfully. So that's a hard one. That's a hard one for me to go ahead and say, you know what, I need you down there, because if the odds are way against teams like Washington and Phoenix to go ahead and make even the play-in games per se.
Yeah, and even for I'll give you an example. I was at a gym earlier today, and I won't name the players because I don't want anybody to get in trouble. But I've seen, in this particular gym, I've seen 4 or 5 NBA players come in and work out with the trainer. So today there was a guy that came in to work out he was an all-star. And I'm a videographer, so I had my camera there, and they were like, you can't film because the NBA doesn't want players working out with third-party trainers. They would prefer the guys working out at their team facilities where they can work out in groups of 3. But this hurts the guys that are not going to be invited to Orlando. So if you play for one of the teams that's not invited, they don't want you to work out with a trainer in whatever city that you're staying in. They would, and I get it. They would prefer you to work out at the team facility where it's more controlled environment. But you can't expect the players to stay in the city that they play in year round. So I wonder how that's going to affect everything.
Because if you're on the Knicks, does every player on the Knicks stay in New York?
No, and there's a few Knicks players that I know. At least last summer, there were 3 guys on the Knicks that lived in Dallas, and you could find them playing pickup, pretty regularly. And so right now, a lot of videographers are, they're trying to get their followers up because they're in these gyms and they're posting videos of players working out, which, was pretty popular on YouTube in the summer. But some of the guys have been playing, but I saw a lot last week, but I noticed that this week I didn't really see too many videos of guys playing pickup. And I think a lot of it is related to teams don't, they've called the players and they've told the trainers that you can't be posting videos and the league doesn't want you guys working out with a third-party trainer.
We're signaling the ref for a quick timeout, but we'll be back with more of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Check out what's been going on with the Pop Culture Cosmos Show and the PCC Multiverse.
That is by far my favorite because it's also character driven and the stakes are high and there's much more of a mystery and intrigue to it.
A game like Wolfenstein, which people are saying are one of the most socially important video games of the past 10 years.
Catch our shows on radio worldwide 7 days a week or at any time on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on over 30 more podcast outlets. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to the NBA is what they need to do, not on the court necessarily for racial equality, because as you see, it's 85% African American, if I'm not mistaken, 80 to 85, something like that. It's off the court. It's the coaching staff. It's the front office. It's the ownerships or general manager, partner, or whatever you want to call it these days, general managing partner, things like that. What I want to ask is, what steps does the NBA need to take in order to get to that point? We saw the Lakers the other day. Had a great hiring of Dr. Karita Brown. She is going to be there as a director of racial equality and making sure hiring practices are done accordingly and they're done in a proper fashion to get the best candidate from whatever background possible to go ahead and fill the roles in the future for the Lakers organization, which I think is a great step. And then he had Jeannie Buss today making statements about trying to get more racial equality in the league and understand that the negative effects that racism has in our society. It's a point where I hear one of the things that Avery Bradley and Dwight Howard and Kyrie Irving and all the other players say is they're not hearing from these owners. They're not hearing from the majority of them as far as speaking out on this or contributing money or things of that nature. I was listening to Hoops Collective podcast, and that's the feedback that they're getting from players because they have a better insight than what I can get currently because they have more players that they can speak to. And that's what they're hearing is that the hierarchy of the NBA is not doing enough in regards to this. So I want to hear from you, what steps do they need to take? What steps do they need to start going into to go ahead and have a better environment for a league that's started to take that step but still has a long way to go?
Well, as far as hiring practices, I can tell you that just firsthand from my personal experiences, how difficult it is for an African American to rise up the ranks. And I'm not going to blame it on racism or anything like that. It may have a little bit to do with it, but one of the issues that I've seen is that, a lot of people want to work in sports. It's very, very competitive to work for an NBA team. I can guarantee you right now, if the Lakers post an internship unpaid, you may get hundreds or thousands of applicants. And so what makes it harder for African Americans, in my opinion, is in order to work in sports, you're usually going to have to work a long time without getting paid. And it affects African Americans or blacks a lot. It affects everybody. And sometimes it just depends on how supportive your family or your friends or whoever is to support you until you finally start generating income. So, like from my experience, I lived in LA 2000. I got an internship with the Clippers. It was supposed to be the 2010-2011 season. And one of the requirements was it had to be for class credit, and I had to be able to attend all the home games, obviously, be there during the day, and it was unpaid. So at the time, I may have been like 28 or 29 years old. It was something that I wanted to do. It was something that I felt like, all right, I spent my 20s working a job that I liked. It was okay, but it wasn't something that I was passionate about, and I knew that I wanted to get into sports. And so what I ended up doing was say, okay, I'm going to take this internship. And I happened to know somebody that knew another person that worked in HR. So I got the internship with the Clippers. And LA is expensive, as you can imagine.
Lived there 25 years, yes.
Yeah. And it's even crazier now than it was 10 years ago. And so I had my own apartment. And what ended up happening was I got the internship, but not only did I have to go to class, and I took like some random PE class at a community college in East LA just for the credit, but I still had to be in class 3 times a week during the day. Then I had to be in the office, and then they had games at night. And, you know, this game schedule it's not like you can say, well, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And I ended up like taking a gamble on myself and hoping that I could make things work. And I had this mindset of I'm going to be the hardest worker there. I'm going to work so hard that they're going to hire me. It's going to work out. Well, it didn't work out. I ended up getting evicted, and I had to move back to Dallas. And so from there, I ended up getting internships with the Texas Legends. It was the Mavericks G League team first year. I drove the team bus. I did laundry. I did film. I was in the office all day, and all of this was an unpaid internship. Not a lot of people can maintain, you know, a living doing that. So I ended up getting a job working graveyard shift at a gas station. And I had a college degree, but it was kind of humbling for me to get a job at a gas station working overnight just because I wanted this internship so bad. The good thing for me is that when I was living in LA, I had a house in Dallas that I owned. And my brother and his wife were staying there because they had a newborn baby. So I ended up staying with my brother and his wife and their baby. But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been able to really put in the hours and made a name for myself. But a lot of people aren't in that situation. And so the people whose parents may have the resources and funds to say, well, you know what, you can stay here until you get your job. And for a lot of black people, they don't have that same luxury. I have a friend, he played professional basketball overseas. You know, he was married with a wife, and her family allowed him to stay with, his family to stay with her parents until he got where he wanted to be. And he's an assistant coach in the NBA now. But it took him like 8 years to get to that point. And so the investment that her family or his family made in him to pursue his dreams allowed him to get to that point where he's making, whatever he makes as an assistant coach in the NBA. A lot of black people aren't going to have the same luxury. So they're going to get weeded out in the process because they don't have the resources to play the long game until you get paid.
That's hard, man. That's just to hear that, and you hear stories such as yourself and such as what's going on as far as the work that needs to go behind the scenes and how much harder it is in that case, and that's why things need to change and things need to be get better. So we need to have more decisions of this. But as I was talking about with the Lakers, Do you like the signing? Do you like the addition of Dr. Karita Brown? Because hopefully it sends a message to the rest of the league that you need to start thinking about this carefully. You need to start getting people in place who can make these changes happen, so you don't have to have Rafael Barlow's having to do so much to just try and find a place in the league.
Well, it's tough because, I mean, not saying that it's a racial issue like the stuff that I went through. It's a numbers game. And a lot of people get weeded out because they can't afford to work a whole season or 2 seasons without having any income coming in.
It's similar to what I was going through in Hollywood, and I work for a special effects company, but in order to go ahead and get in front of the camera or really go across the street to work at Paramount Studios, which is where I really wanted to go, you have to go, like you said, you have to go and be an extra, or you start in as far as being an unpaid assistant.
Holding the boom mic.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And just that whole 9 yards. So you have to do that just to even earn your way, most likely in the Hollywood and movie industry as well. So, yeah, that's perfectly understandable. It's just extremely hard, and like you said, it's always a numbers game that you're up against.
Yeah, and that's why I said I can't blame it on systematic racism or anything like that. But it's so competitive, and you have to be able to be really, really patient and have a lot of faith in yourself. And more than likely, you're going to need some type of help or resources to help you survive in life until you get to that point where you can get a steady paycheck. But as far as like with the Lakers, if they're higher, I think it's a good idea. I mean, I like it, what it's for. My only fear is that, I mean, I guess it's a good thing, but I mean, I know the NBA is a copycat league, so I imagine other teams are going to follow and make similar hires. But I wonder, are teams going to just make similar hires for the PR behind it? Because nobody wants to be there's only 5 teams left that haven't made this position with a diversity hire. I feel like, and this is probably a little controversial, but I feel like it happened a little bit in a sense with even the G League. Some teams didn't want a G League team, but you don't want to be the only ones without. Even when they started hiring women, not saying that the women aren't qualified, but I feel like some people felt like, you know what, this looks good. This is a good PR move. We need to hire a woman on our staff because we don't want to be the only team that doesn't hire women. And so I wonder, are some of the women actually getting the opportunity to show their knowledge and what they're capable of doing as opposed to kind of, I don't know, being the token on a staff?
And that's something that we'll have to see going forward because there are more and more women that are going on these staffs. Becky Hammond is the most prominent name for the San Antonio Spurs that gets mentioned. She should be considered a candidate for a head coaching job, maybe as early as this summer. There's going to be head coaching jobs. It'll be interesting to see whether she's just going to go there to get interviewed, just to have an interview, or if she's really going to be strongly considered or ultimately hired for that position, because it looks like Tim Duncan is going to get the job when Popovich leaves San Antonio. And
Tim Duncan isn't a guy who, at least to my knowledge, was someone who we always heard about. He's going to be a great coach. We didn't even know he was interested in it. Yeah, exactly. So that's another interesting story topic on another episode. But yeah, as far as like what the Lakers are doing with the hire, I think it's great. Even though I read a little bit about the title in one of the articles, it sounds like right now her job is mostly to inform or teach the staff and about just the racial inequality or systematic racism, or just kind of like make, I don't know, for lack of a better term, make white people or non-black people aware of the issues that African Americans are going through.
But it needs to be something more. It needs to evolve into something more. She needs to, if she does a great job at this, she needs to be looked at as far as becoming a vice president, or becoming a president of operations, or becoming a GM, or becoming, something of that nature, where she needs to be put in a spotlight where she can do more, and other individuals need to be put in those same spots as well. It needs to just, It just needs to be something just besides that. It needs to evolve into something more as well, correct?
Yeah, I agree with that. I guess the one issue that I have, I think on one hand it's good that these particular jobs are opening up. But and it's probably what Avery Bradley is speaking on, is that why does it take something to come up for this particular job to open up? And so I guess you can even look at the situation with the Mavericks when they had a whole PR nightmare of what was going on in the front office. But they ended up hiring an African American woman to be, I don't know her exact title, but I want to say she's the president of the team. Very nicely, I've had a chance to meet her, but I think there's a lot of people wondering, why does it take that for that hire to happen? Why isn't this considered in the first place?
Like you said, it's all about timing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they make the announcement now, the Lakers do, in the middle of what's going on. Why couldn't this have been done last year at this point in time? Or the year before? Why does it have to be a situation where it leads up to now before things are done? I agree with you that it's a great step in the right direction, but it's always about timing and optics. And the NBA is a lot about optics, and so you're not sure about the full intentions of these teams that do these things, including the Lakers, which had its own fiasco earlier a couple months ago when they applied for the loan, and they're how many billion-dollar company that they're worth, and they had to give it back and all that. So you're never sure of the motivations of any of these teams. I'm glad that they're doing it. I'm hoping they'll give her the chance and the platform to not only do good in her position now, but going forward, if she does well and she's given that opportunity, that if she wants to go ahead and take it, that she'll be given a charge either here or with another team on a even higher platform, so she can make even more of an impact. So that will lead more teams to go ahead and make those same good choices as well.
I agree 100%.
We'll be back with more of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Needing an edge for your fantasy football team? Listen to the guys at Inside Sports Fantasy Football for insight that will help you reach your league championship. That's Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Check it out today on your favorite podcast outlet. Well, my friend, we've talked about some heavy issues so far in this podcast, but before we head on out, NBA draft junkies, my friend, we got to talk about some NBA draft stuff before we head on out. So I know it's way off the beaten path sometimes, especially what's going on, but you've got your great site, NBA Draft Junkies, and I know you've got some mock drafts that you're working on. And can you just give listeners out there kind of a sneak peek of not necessarily, okay, this guy's rising, but this guy's falling, but some of the individuals that you're looking at that are making a change in your eyes one way or the other?
Well, I think right now there's so much time on your hands, at least for a lot of people that do this draft stuff, you're watching guys and all of a sudden you're like, I think I like this guy better than others. Or I was wrong about this particular player. Because it's really hard to say if a player is moving up on draft boards because we haven't seen them. Like, we haven't had an opportunity to watch guys play in over 100-something days at the minimum. So it's all based off of just your opinion. I think anybody that says a guy's rising on multiple mocks, I just want to know where he's getting that information from. But at least for me, like I mentioned earlier, I was at a gym today and I saw a couple guys work out, and there was one guy who I was really impressed with. And so, but because he's the last player that I've seen, I have to make sure that I'm not moving him too high up because, I seen him live and I saw him recently. That doesn't mean that he's better than another person that I had above him who I can't see. So it's kind of tough to base anything off of anything other than just kind of changing your mind because you've taken a deeper look into film.
But this player has looked a lot better than what you've seen before and what you saw now in current workouts.
Well, I had questions about his shot as far as like the percentage he shot was it real or was it something that could be sustained? And so just kind of watching this guy work out a couple of times, I can see both sides because his form is a lot different when he shoots threes as opposed to when he's shooting jumpers inside the arc. And so I see why there's such a big difference in his percentages. But it's still kind of tough to determine, you know what I'm saying, like if 3-point percentage that he shot in college is where his future is, or is it going to be based off of the percentage that he shot on pull-up jumpers and free throws? So it's tough, but watching him live, I feel like, man, you know, I think I like him better than I did before.
That's a good way to gauge that.
Again, I have to make sure that I'm not just basing it off of because I haven't seen anybody live in so long.
But there are some movers and followers in your eyes, I'm assuming, correct? I mean, there has been for me. I've already started to get some ideas. Man, maybe I put him a little too high.
Yeah.
Maybe I put him a little bit too low. You know, I've gotten a lot of feedback, so it gave me a second chance to look at players both either which way. And, you know, it allows me a chance to reassess, and I'm sure you're doing that process as well.
Yeah, and I think, like, if no matter what, how much time it is, you're always going to change your draft. I mean, you know, if they move the draft back a month, your mock draft may look totally different, and it's just because you have more time to look at guys, or maybe there's something that you didn't notice before. Sometimes you can, I mean, we're all human. We can be influenced by what we've read on other mock drafts or other boards and so on. So, but that's the beauty of it, is that nobody's right when it comes to these mock drafts. I mean, you can be right on a couple of players here and there, but even the experts or even the guys that get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to predict a player, they get them wrong often. So that's the beauty of it.
And it's funny because you hear Chad Ford on his podcast talk about the extensive research that he does, the fact that he had access to all these workouts. He would be there early in the morning, late at night. He would be going ahead and observing these players a lot more than, let's say, you or I can, because he has access. And he had at that time the ESPN backing to go ahead and follow all these players. And even he made mistakes, and even he fell in love with players that unfortunately didn't pan out for one reason or the other, not necessarily because of an injury, just because of performance level as well.
At the end of the day, you can't predict how well a 19-year-old is going to play long-term once he has millions of dollars in the bank. I had a friend, an NBA player, once tell me, and it makes so much sense. He says, you know how hard it is to come in here every day and do these workouts when I can look at the map and be anywhere I want to be in the world within the next 24 hours? He's like, the people who make it and are successful usually have another level of drive to them that pushes them to how they succeed. I mean, you know, you look at Kobe, and yes, he was talented. He was given a lot of natural gifts, but it was his drive and his work ethic, all of that, which made him, you know, one of the best players to ever play the game. Well, I think there may be other guys who may have been just as naturally talented, and they didn't come close to his accomplishments. So that's kind of hard to predict.
Exactly. What's the drive? What's in here? What's in here? As far as that's concerned, yeah, I can't agree with you anymore on that. And obviously, we saw a lot with Kobe in that aspect, and hopefully, we'll see more players with that kind of drive going forward. I mean, we see it right now with LeBron. We see it right now with Giannis. We see it right now at times, although he's very quiet. But there's still, once you get him on the court, you see Kawhi's determination and willingness to go ahead and take over a game and let his actions speak for himself. So that's another way of doing it. And, you know, hear all these stories. It's great because you hear all these stories of all these players in their backgrounds of when they were coming up on whether or not they would make it in the league. And, yeah, Chad Ford's stories are very funny at times as far as exactly what he thought of these players one way or the other. And you hear all these other stories as well. One thing this pandemic has caused is all these redraftable shows.
Yeah.
And I listen to them and I think, my gosh, I was probably thinking the same way myself. So at that point in time about X player. Hindsight's great in 2020. It's great to play that armchair quarterback. But, yeah, when you're in the middle of it and you're looking at it, and, yeah, it's just so funny to see now some of the players that you were so behind that you thought would make it didn't pan out, and vice versa. Oh, man, this guy's terrible. Why are they drafting him? And the next thing you know, he's an all-star player.
Yeah, I always feel like a lot of the reasons why guys make it or don't make it to their maximum potential usually isn't talent. It's usually like the drive. I mean, situation is important also. But some guys, their dream was to make it to the NBA, and that's exactly what they did. Is they made it to the NBA, and they'll stay long enough to get a check. They don't necessarily have the desire like a Kobe or a Kawhi or LeBron. I mean, like LeBron is probably one of the best examples. I mean, he had over $100 million in endorsements before he played a single game, but yet he was still driven by something. And it's not, you can't say he's not motivated by money because he's made a lot of money and he's continued to make a lot of money. He always puts himself in position to make more money. But there's something that's driving him, and I mean he's been driven by legacy, and that's what's on top of, like I said, his ridiculous skill set and God-given talent. But he's driven by creating a legacy, and that's what makes him spend so much money on his body, puts in the work. And if you're 17, and if you didn't know anything about basketball and you watched him play, you wouldn't even know that he has that much mileage on his body. So, but that type of drive and you can't teach that. Like there's nothing that you can do to give somebody that type of tenacity and drive. And so that's what I love about the guys that are great at what they do. I mean, from your LeBrons to your Kobe's to your Jordans, these guys have something special inside of them on top of, like I said, their natural gifts. And you can't determine that in a draft. You may have some ideas, but you just don't know how a person is going to act once they have millions of dollars in the bank, especially a teenager.
That's true. And one of the things I want to talk to you about on next time we talk is LeBron's legacy. If he were to get to that fourth title, third different team, et cetera, that you're hearing about right now with the rhetoric, we'll know more, or we'll have a clearer idea on exactly who is heading to Orlando, who's not. So those are some great issues to talk about as well. So we're going to talk about that. But before we head on out, my friend, I'd save it best for last. And that is your tenure, as I know you would do an outstanding job, no matter how much James Dolan would probably try to undermine you the entire time. But I want to hear your thoughts in your time doing the program that you can now check out at NBA Draft Junkies, with you serving as New York Knicks GM and deciding the future, or at least the short-term future, for where the New York Knicks should do. Your time doing that, how much did you enjoy it, and the feedback that you got from the Knicks fans, which you say are among, and which is true, are among the most vocal out there in the NBA?
It was fun. If you haven't had a chance to check out the video, it's on my YouTube channel, and it's on my website also. I used to play NBA 2K a lot, but when I played 2K, it got to the point where they just added so many different controls and stuff to the game, with the Euro step, hop step, fadeaway. It got a little too complicated for me. But I would always get the game to play GM mode because I wanted to see if I could put together a team. So I used to simulate a team, and I would make the moves in free agency and try to take the worst team and rebuild. But that was fun to me. And so I had this genius idea about a week ago, and I wanted to add some content to my site that was creative and different, but I didn't want something that was super corny. I also wanted to show a little bit of personality because...
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
You're rocking with the heavyweight champs of sports talk.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Brandon Way and Brandon Rudolph.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
Tune in to Opinionated Facts, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on the RTF Sports Network. And we're back again every Sunday at 12 noon on Facebook Live.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Only on the Opinionated Facts Facebook page, presented by TCP Network.
What's going on, everybody? Whether you're practicing social distancing of 6 feet up to 6 miles, you can still party with On and Off the Field, where you can listen to the best NFL and charity-based podcasts out there on the RTF Sports Network. You can follow them on Facebook or go to rtfsportsnetwork.com and check out the show Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Do you like sports interviews with a little bit of twist, with a little bit of rawness, with a little bit of untouched talent? Join us next on the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio network with Cyber Time Base.
It's time to go back to work. There's a lot to do. We have things to make, stuff to build, cargo to ship, customers to serve. So grab a 5-hour energy and get ready. For 16 years, through good times and bad, 5-hour energy has been there helping hard-working people get stuff done. It's time to go back to work. Let's roll up our sleeves and get going. For more information and to order online, visit 5hourenergy.com.
You are now listening to Cyber Time Bite, hosted by me, Stephen Clark. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Hey there, everybody. It's
Hey, what's up?
It's your boy Steve, and
What's up, Steve?
It's your boy Steve, and today we're here for Cyber Time by episode 99. Holy crap!
Woo!
Episode 99. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Episode 99. Next episode is gonna be the 100th episode. Like, dude, this is amazing. I want to thank everyone for the last 98 episodes for being here and supporting me. This is awesome. This is great. I love it. I love all this. Oh boy, I'm gonna save all my thanks and whatever's for the 100th episode. But today, for episode 99, I am here with Vampire Ninja 07. What's up?
That's my gamer tag.
On what? Xbox or PS4?
All of them.
You're on PS4 as well?
Yeah, I have Xbox, I have Nintendo Switch, I have PlayStation 4. It's my Battle.net account for my Blizzard games too.
Are you into Tekken? Is Tekken one of the games you play?
Tekken's one of the games I play. I like a lot of fighters.
Oh boy. Guess what's going down after this interview, everybody?
I don't think I have it downloaded on my Xbox One right now, so.
No, I have it on PS4.
Okay, yeah, I don't have online for my PlayStation 4 because I don't get the subscription service for PlayStation 4 for free like I do Xbox because of silly things at work. So,
just like they bring that effect in. No, I can't. Anyway.
Yeah, right now, like Kingdom Hearts, God of War, and Final Fantasy VII are all occupying all the space on my PlayStation 4 hard drive. So.
Final Fantasy, what's that guy's name? That emo dude from the new Final Fantasy? Isn't he in Tekken 7?
Yeah, Noctis is in Tekken 7 as a playable character.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, here's the weird thing. I mean, Tekken is such a popular pop culture game now that now they're like bringing in like famous people like that guy from The Walking Dead and Noctis from Final Fantasy and that one guy from Street Fighter.
Oh yeah. But like the one with Street Fighter, that kind of makes sense anyhow, because they had a Street Fighter Cross Tekken versus game there, so having them kind of swap characters every now and then isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, but like when you really think about it, I mean, when you play Street Fighter versus Tekken is literally a Street Fighter game with Tekken characters in it when you really think about it.
It is.
But like,
which made Tekken players kind of go like, I hate this freaking control scheme.
Yeah, because
I don't blame you.
Yeah, because if you're gonna have a Street Fighter versus Tekken game, you don't take the Tekken out of the Tekken. You take the Street Fighter out of the Street Fighter for that case.
Or you could have made it so that there was like two options available, so that it's like, okay, here's the Street Fighter control scheme, here is the Tekken control scheme, and have fun.
Like, here you go, have your fun. I never played the game, but I'm a huge Tekken fan, so maybe that I'll probably pass it up because I'm not a big fan of the Street Fighter way of fighting. But
right.
But I did the other day beat Tekken 2, 3, 4, and 7's arcade modes. And that was hard, but I did it.
They do get hard, and especially if you're not good with like certain characters, because I would just play through like the arcade and stuff just to unlock everyone's endings and get costumes and stuff. And some of the different endings also kind of link together with different characters and their different relationships and stuff, and I wanted to see how like some of those played out. But like with some of the characters, I just sucked. So I'd have to sit there and like spam like one button because it was the only button that managed to work as quickly or as effectively as I needed it, and just cheat the system in order to get it. Wasn't proud of it, but I unlocked what I needed.
How about who's your favorite? Who's your second character? Like, who's your character in Tekken?
Nina Williams, I think it is.
I'm a Paul guy.
There's the Alicia in the new one. She's cool because she's a vampire type character, but like she's also got narcolepsy, so she'll just randomly freaking fall asleep on me. Like, stop it! But and she's weird enough where like if you play her, I can play her right. She could be really, really quick. But then, like, there's also, like, some, like, slow, heavy-hitting moves and stuff, so she's kind of that weird balance character. And,
Yeah, because I like, there's two characters I like the most, and I probably will tag these guys together when I eventually play Tekken Tag Tournament 1 and 2. I really like Paul and King. Those are probably my two favorite guys in the game.
I did like King. King is awesome, and I love seeing King at conventions. Just these guys who've like worked really, really hard on their physique. Some of them are actual like physical trainers or professional bodybuilders and stuff in their off time when they're not cosplaying, and then they don like the King. I suppose you could call it a helmet, mask, whatever.
Yeah, because
those are fun to see at conventions.
I took a picture with a King. like I took a picture with a King cosplayer. Like, he had like a Lucha Underground shirt on. He was wearing the WWE title, and he was wearing the King head. Just like it was hilarious. I love it.
I want to say one of my friends has done a King, but it might have been a long time ago, and he's gotten a lot more shredded since then.
Who's your profile picture supposed to be in your that cosplay in your profile picture?
Which one?
Skype? No, not Skype. Discord.
Discord. Good question. Oh, that's my Sylvanas Windrunner.
Is that the one you're most proud of?
That's the one that's taken the most work so far, but she's about to be that title is going to be replaced by what I'm currently working on. I'm currently working on a Diablo 4 Lilith. I have a few supplies that are on back order, but otherwise it's finished. It just needs paint.
Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only seen that post on Facebook that you posted of your cosplay and this profile picture. I would love to see more of your cosplay if you have a link to more photos, because I would love to support and show your content.
Yeah, I can throw you one here on Discord, and you can have a look while we're talking. Let's see here.
There would be no doubt you have an Instagram, right?
Yeah, I have, let's see here, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon. I have a Twitter. I don't remember what the Twitter handle is because I never use Twitter. But I have one. I just don't know what it is.
Do you what are you an East Coast cosplayer, a West Coast cosplayer, Midwest cosplayer? What scene are you part of?
I'm in the Midwest.
Oh, you are in the Midwest?
Yes.
Are you?
Did that? I'm not sure that link even worked. So give me a second here.
It's all right. So what you don't have to say town, but state. What state are you from?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Yeah, that's cool. I don't hear very many cosplayers out in Nebraska, so I mean it's cool to talk to a Nebraskan cosplayer.
It's funny about the Nebraskan cosplayers because we're very, very sparsely populated. There's like the two big major cities, which are Omaha and Lincoln, and those are like places where people get off on the airplanes and stuff and do sightseeing, and there's big businesses and stuff there, like Mutual of Omaha and stuff like that. And we have 2-3 conventions in Nebraska a year, and a lot of those cosplayers go to like the one. And for a lot of those cosplayers that I've met through my job, through my cosplay, and through my teaching at the Metro Community College, I actually teach a course where I teach people how to start and how to make their own cosplays. A lot of them are real home buddies. Like, not gonna lie. They venture out for the one thing a year, and that one thing is Anime NebraskaCon, which is the biggest one that we have here. And they think that is the best. And I've been to a few conventions around the Midwest, and I'm sitting there like, you guys need to get a better frame of reference for what a good convention is, because while this is an okay party con, there are better conventions out there, guys. I'm just saying. So, save a little bit more money, and go to a bigger anime convention or a bigger Midwestern convention, and kind of broaden your horizons a little bit. Because if your only convention experience is only this one local convention, and that's the only thing you leave your basement for all year,
yeah, it's like
you're not going to have a broad scope for what is and is not a good convention, what is or is not a good cosplay. You're pretty much showing up there just to get drunk as Naruto, okay?
What? Drunk as Naruto? What?
Like I said, it's a party con. After hours, I think it's about after 7 or 8 p.m., the nightlife kicks up. So there are room parties with alcohol. They check your IDs and stuff like that. People pretty much mill around the convention center, go to these different late night panels. They go to the rave. Some of them get high. No judge. I don't judge, but whatever. And they pretty much just go to get drunk as an anime character with their friends. And that's cool if that's your scene. And I have been to other anime conventions where that's kind of been the same thing, like NakaCon in Kansas City. But like the programming and the way it's all spaced out, and the different partnerships they get into with the different businesses and stuff that are related to the anime theme of the convention, such as like hooking up with like a ramen distributor and stuff like that, is way better than what Anime NebraskaCon in Omaha brings. Not to say that Anime NebraskaCon is bad. I do have friends that work with the convention. They do a really good job and stuff like that. It's just they need to change it up a little bit. I know they can't change like venues or anything like that, because certain venues won't even have them, just because of space issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's certain things that they could change, certain things they can make different, certain things they can make better. Cosplay contest, I feel like, goes on way too long at Anaheim, NebraskaCon. I was there last fall for the Metro Community College course, and I was having my students kind of debut their costumes as kind of like an intermission for the cosplay contest that evening. We sat in those seats for 3 goddamn hours watching people go on and off the stage, and I was sitting there like, you know what? You could have just texted me when it was time for us to be here, and we could have all gotten like ramen or burgers or something, because like I'm starving. This was unnecessarily long.
Yeah, it's like if you're like if we're not ready to go up on stage to show off our awesome content, then why are you making us sit here and we can eat food instead?
Because like they have the regular cosplayers who are actually competing go first, and then they have like the occasional skit, and they kind of limit those to about 3 minutes apiece, and everyone else has like 1 minute, maybe a little less, and then they have like their intermission, which is like their big co-hosts or whatever. Like this last year was a anime dance group. I forget what they were called. They had amazing energy, and they kept that going the entire 3 hours while sitting in their seats, and they're watching people come on stage, and on the stage they play like different anime theme songs or whatever for the people to walk to. It may not even be related to that person's costume. It's just they throw on music so somebody can be like, pose, 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 and off they go. But like they kept that energy going. Like they were just sitting in their seats waiting for their chance to go on stage for their little half-hour show. And like they were pumped. They were like doing all these like hand signs and stuff and cheering, and I'm sitting there like, how many Red Bulls have you had today? My Lord.
No, I could imagine them one of them taking off their shirt and go like, and they're swinging.
Well, they went through like 7 costume changes in half an hour on that stage for like each little musical bit that they were doing, and I know it's a really popular anime or something. It's some sort of dance or musical anime. I want to say Love Live, but I'm not 100% certain that's what they were from, because I haven't seen that one. I'm not into musical or dance animes myself.
Yeah.
But that's what they were doing. They were in their costume for the first portion of their set, sitting there in their seats waiting for their chance to go on after the costume contest. And they had that energy that whole time.
Holy crap.
And I'm sitting there in my Einzel Gone costume from Overlord, and this thing is massive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want a beer and a burger.
I love it. I'm straight edge, so I don't drink, smoke, or do any drugs, but it sounds crazy.
I don't drink either, but like I just like when I'm out and about with friends at conventions, which for me happens maybe 4 times a year max, I will have like a beer or a glass of wine if it complements what I'm eating with my friends. If it doesn't complement what we decide to go out to eat, then I just get like a soda or something, a tea or a water or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like, man, that's crazy. I mean, like, so you're saying like people from out of state come to like your anime convention in Nebraska and they think it's the best thing they ever been to, but then you've been to like other conventions and like, yeah, there's a way better than this.
Not people from out of state, people in state.
Oh, in state? Oh.
Yeah. They people, not a lot of people in Nebraska will leave Nebraska for whatever fucking reason. I'm sitting here like one of those folks like, get the hell out! Leave! Do something with your life! Don't be another child of the corn! Leave! But no.
Of the corn. I love that terminology.
But no, they will sit here and stay here because they can't afford to leave, or they get, do something stupid like getting pregnant early. There's the link for you. Or, whatever. For a lot of these folks, especially with some of the smaller towns in Nebraska, high school is the absolute peak of their life. And if you think about the entirety of someone's lifetime, saying 80 years, and your first 18 years of your life was the peak of your life, that's sad. That is hella sad.
I mean, have you ever? I mean, now I may get this wrong, but Nebraska is right under Ohio, right?
Nebraska is west of Iowa, north of Kansas, south of South Dakota, and east of Colorado and Wyoming.
So I got that all dead wrong. Oops. you're
like you could throw a dart on a map of the United States and you will more than likely hit in the dead center, Nebraska.
Yeah, you guys are out west. I thought you guys were out east. But no, I'm saying I was gonna say, have you ever been to the con called Con on the Cob?
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah,
I did meet a corn vendor one time when I went to an outdoor, not an outdoor convention, an outdoor concert, and this guy was selling like sweet corn because it was peak season for sweet corn, and the guy had the best salesmanship I have ever seen.
Because
he's selling corn.
Corn.
And he's sitting there like screaming at these like drugged out, just freaking concert attendees going, "Come and get your corn! I know you fuckers are hungry!"
Oh, God.
Be walking by and he goes, "You can eat the corn and then use the cob to wipe your ass with later." Like,
I'm gonna have to put the explicit tag on this episode. Oh, God.
Like the guy was like crude, but it was a $1 for like a thing of corn, and everything else is like deep fat fried and full of fat, sugar, salt, not necessarily stuff you want to be eating over the course of like this weekend long concert outdoors in the dead heat of August. So it's like you need like a vegetable. So we got some of the corn on the cob, and that was damn good sweet corn. He put a little butter on it for us, but it was like it didn't even need the butter. It was just really good.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
But like it did make me think of like of all the things that they had there for eating at this concert thing, where the hell did they find the corn guy?
They probably were, you live in Nebraska, there's a lot of corn, so I'm pretty sure they found a local farmer and they said, "Hey, let's get
It was in Illinois.
Is it Illinois?
It was in Illinois.
Hey, we got cornfields here too.
But like they had, you had your burger, you had your kind of like street fair food with like a crocodile on a stick and corn dogs and stuff like that. A lot of deep fat fried stuff, funnel cakes, burgers, big slices of cardboard pizza that are really, really greasy. But where did they find the corn guy? I swear to God, the corn guy was just somebody on the side of the road who must have caught their attention, and they're like, "Let's go, you're coming with us. This is a concert thing. You earn a lot of money for your corn." And the corn guy's like, "I'm down." Like, where did you find the corn guy?
No. It's probably like this. He's like, No, he's sitting there right on the side, like at his farm, on the porch of his house, and he's just like, in the concert people roll up and they're like, hey, what you doing on my yard, on my cornfield yard? And they're like, sir, we are here because we're having a weekend long concert and we need fresh food at this concert. So would you supply us with your fresh food? And he's like, how much you paying? Completely free. I'm in. and he grabs all the corn out of his field and trucks it with him.
Could be.
I don't even know. But I mean, have you? Speaking of conventions and corn, I mean,
the corn place.
Have you ever heard of Con on the Cob?
No.
It's a convention in Ohio I've never been to, but I want to go to because the name is just amazing.
Like, I wouldn't even cosplay to that one. I would just show up as a corn from from our college team. Like, we have what they call corn heads. It is literally a freaking thing of corn that people wear on their head, kind of like the heads from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I'd just show up as a Cornhusker. I'd be wearing like a Nebraska Cornhuskers t-shirt and wearing one of the corn heads and just show up and be like, I heard this was a corn convention.
I would show me and my friend. I was gonna tell my friend who lives in Ohio that we should go there as two big ears of corn, just corn on the cobs.
I bet they have those costumes too. I mean, probably not much different than the banana costume.
Or the mustard and ketchup bottles.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So you're a vampire girl, right? Then.
Well, that's my gamer tag.
But are you really in, like, vampires are your thing though, outside the gamer tag?
No, I've always been drawn to vampires and stuff like that, but like the primary vampire.
Primary vampire what?
My primary vampire. Yeah, a lot more of my variety, because it is more of a Comic-Con. They do have like some anime stuff. Like, they were going to have a whole host of the My Hero Academia voice actors from Funimation, the English dub characters, and
yeah,
and I lost my train of thought. So like they do have anime stuff and anime content that they do bring in, because voice actors and stuff are really, really popular and a big draw for some people, as just as much as actual celebrities like Jason Momoa and Jason David Frank and people like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, like, there's gonna be probably no way in hell I'm getting out to some Nebraska convention anytime soon. But sounds fun.
They are fun. They are fun. I do like the room parties, which are centralized around the main. I guess you would call it a courtyard of the hotel. They call it the Zen Garden, and there's like 8 rooms. Maybe 12, but I think it's 8. And each one has like a different theme, and then they'll centralize decorating that room with the different decorations related to that theme and crafting these alcoholic beverages that are based off of that theme. So like they usually have like a Disney one. There was a My Little Pony one for about 3 years straight. The My Little Pony alcohol will knock you on your ass. Oh my lord. Like because you couldn't taste the alcohol. They made it like so sweet and so delicious. What you would expect for a My Little Pony beverage, but it's filled with so much alcohol that if you had one too many, and I'm talking just like one of those regular little plastic red party cups, damn.
Like
just...
it's bad.
Yeah, you don't want to be drinking that too fast, and you kind of want to like just sip it slow, or if you do drink the one fast, you want to cut yourself off right there because there is a ton of alcohol in that. That is not just Kool-Aid added to vodka. That is probably mango-flavored vodka and strawberry-flavored vodka and all these other things. It's just straight alcohol, and you just can't taste the alcohol.
Is it? Let me guess. They call it like My Little Pony, the real edition.
No, it was just like the My Little Pony room. Like they had the zebra pony, whatever her name was. She had a jungle juice drink. Then there's Pinkie Pie's party glass, and then there was like the Rainbow Dash's rainbow vomit or something like that. The theme of the rooms really didn't seem to matter as much at Anime NebrasCon, so much as people getting fucked up.
Well, I got some stories that I can tell from DaishoCon last year.
Daisho, I hear, is another one of those party cons, kind of like a Dragon Con is.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So obviously they had like, you know, there's this parties all over the place, people drinking and getting knocked up and whatever, because, you know, conventions and parties and such. But like there's like this.
Yeah, because they totally got pregnant.
Someone probably did. Someone probably did by the end of that weekend. but there's this one party where supposedly they had like a, how do I say this in the cleanest way possible? they had a backside eating out party where they got so effed up that they were like, yeah, we're gonna do this if you get my drift.
That sounds like a normal party con to me.
It is. It's crazy. It's nuts. I love the convention, but just like I'm not really in it for the crazy party and drinking. But honestly, because I'm not a drinker, so I don't really get involved with that. So.
Yeah, see here. Craziest thing I ever saw at a convention was actually NakaCon, Kansas City. We were doing like our own little private room parties because they don't have room parties at NakaCon. We just came back from the rave. We were having a couple of drinks, and it was just a small gathering of friends, maybe about 12 people in between the two rooms and stuff, and we were running low on alcohol. So my buddy says to me that he has an entire cooler full of jungle juice in his room, and he needs my help to go and grab it. So I'm like, sure, I'm down. So I follow him to his room, and we walk in, and there are a couple of furries just going at it, having a good time, you know, doing the sexy thing.
What? In the furry costume?
Not in the furry costume, because, I mean, those furry costumes can cost upwards of, like, $2,000 just to make, not even to buy. So, like, the only indication I knew that they were furries is that there was two separate costumes in the room on the foot of their bed with, like, two heads. So there was, like, a blue and purple fox and something else there. So, like, their fursuits were on the foot of the bed where they were going at it. And the cooler was right there at the foot of the other bed. So we just kind of grabbed it and left. My buddy, because apparently these are someone he's rooming with, was not fazed. This was, like, my third convention I'd ever been to, so I was like, huh. Some of the stories are real.
Wait.
Okay, then.
What, you guys just walked in and they didn't even stop or anything. They were just like, we don't care.
They paused for a second to see who it was, and once they saw it was their buddy, they're like, yeah, okay, and just kept going.
Oh God. that sounds so I'm pretty sure you saw and heard a lot of things you were not expecting to see and hear that weekend.
Yeah. I got blackout drunk that weekend, so from about midnight till 7 in the morning is I don't remember shit.
See, I don't. It's not like I'm trying to live the con life boring, but it's just like it's just like, man, just so much craziness going on in one convention. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. A lot of crazy things can happen at the conventions and stuff. And, like, Planet Comic-Con has its nightlife, too, but since it's at an actual convention center and not a hotel, people have to leave after, like, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whenever, convention end time is. But they partner up with the Power and Light District in downtown Kansas City, which is near that area, with a bunch of the different bars and things there to have to let people have fun and stuff. They'll have like themed drinks or even their own little costume contests at these bars and things. I personally just like going to the place. This place is called the Pawn and Pint. It is a board game D&D type bar, and they even sell like the board games. They sell miniatures. They sell dice. They sell the books and stuff. And just going over there for a beer and chilling out with friends and playing like Scrabble or whatever afterwards. Because like I've seen a lot of crazy shit at different conventions, but I personally, at the end of a convention day, would just rather get out of my costume and go get some food and then crash. Because by the end of the day, it doesn't matter what hotel or convention center or whatever you're wandering around at. You're wandering around that convention from anywhere from 6 to some of us 14 hours on our feet. Like, by the time the con is done, we just want to get out of our shoes and just lay in bed and stare at the ceiling and just have someone hand feed us, because we are just that dead tired.
I mean, people say all of that for a convention scene, but if we say that about like our jobs, we're like we can't say the same thing about our jobs. Almost. You know what I'm saying?
I can't stand at my job either. It's
like people want to say like, oh, we watched 14 hours and enjoyed it. They're gonna say we watched 14 hours and we hated it.
Sounds like they need a different job, because I love mine.
What kind of job do you do?
I am a assistant store manager of a gaming store.
Like what? Like D&D? Like D&D kind of gaming store?
Video games.
Oh, video games. Because there's the D&D. There's two kinds. There's the video game, and then there's like D&D board game stuff.
I would have said tabletop shop if it was a D&D and board games type.
What you like? I'm guessing you know it all about video games then to work there, so people can.
I know a fair amount, and what drives me crazy is when someone tries to tell me something contradictory to the actual truth, and they'll be like, "You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're a woman." I want to strangle that motherfucker.
Yeah,
because it's like, I've been at this job for like 7 years. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I know they did not make Black Ops 2 for PlayStation 4 unless it was a download, because there is no hard disk copy for that game.
What, a Black Ops 2?
But Black Ops 2 on PS4, yeah, they'll be like, yeah, Black Ops 2 was on PS4. I'm like, maybe on download, but not on hard disk. Well, that's an ineffectual statement, because I had Black Ops 2 on a PlayStation 4 game disc, and I played it all the time. I'm like, I've been here since before the PlayStation 4 came out. It was not on PlayStation 4, you dipshit. But they'll be like, No, you don't know what you're talking about because it definitely was on disc because I had it. I'm like, you're full of it. You had it on PS3. I know that. You didn't have it on PS4 on a hard disk.
Well, isn't there a Black Ops on PS4 now?
Yeah, there's Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, and I think some of the older ones are available for download, but those older ones are only available for download, and they're not available through hard disk.
Yeah, wasn't there a Tekken game only available for download, but never put on hard disk?
Yeah, I don't remember which one that was though.
How since you've been working there for 7 years, how big was the Guitar Hero Live launch?
I'll tell you this. Before Guitar Hero Live came out, we had a Guitar Hero Live demo on our PlayStation 4 that our Sony representative set up. That same day that the demo finishes downloading and is premiered and it's live for people to play was also the same day that all the high schools were having their homecoming.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys came to our store to play the Guitar Hero Live demo instead of picking up their dates or going to homecoming. They just sat there for about an hour and a half playing through like the 3 songs that were on the demo.
Why? Why would you skip out on your homecoming just to go to your local GameStop to freaking, play a demo for only 3 songs?
You get 4 homecomings in high school. You only get to play the premiere of a demo with the actual guitar once. So, yeah, I guess I saw it, but it was just kind of funny seeing all these well-dressed kids come in just to play Guitar Hero.
But, how was the actual launch? When the game actually got released and it was ready to launch, how was that?
Well, the launch went really well. We actually had a big turnout for that, but, yeah, the idea for Guitar Hero Live was sound in theory, but flawed in execution. People just wanted more of the same old Guitar Hero that they remembered from, the 10 years ago on the PlayStation 2 and stuff. They didn't want, so much changes in the button layout of the guitar or how it looked on the screen and stuff like that. So I think that's really what led to its downfall. And then, of course, DLC, nickel and diming everyone to death for different music and stuff instead of having to just earn them really kind of hurt them too.
Yeah, because I'm a huge Guitar Hero nerd. Like I have all the games. I didn't get them as they came out because I didn't start playing it in 2005. But obviously my first one was Guitar Hero 3, the one everyone loves, which I'm pretty sure when you guys have copies there, everyone wants to clamor for it. But it's a whatchamacallit, I mean, it's a great series. Did you like it?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Are you a fan of Guitar Hero?
I'm not a big fan of rhythm-based games. The only rhythm-based game I liked was Amplitude on the PlayStation 2. And they had something similar, a remake on PlayStation 4 by the same name, which was pretty damn close. But on the PlayStation 4, it was all techno music, whereas on the PlayStation 2, it was different genres of music. So I had more fun on that one than I did with the PlayStation 4 one.
You didn't like DDR? Because Con?
No, it's not Con that I didn't like. It was just with DDR and the big dance mats and stuff like that. I have no fucking coordination, so I just sucked ass playing those games. Same with Just Dance. I can't dance, so it doesn't work.
I never played Just Dance. Never played on it. I want to play DDR because DDR, I mean, just seems like the next logical step after you get good at Guitar Hero. But I also wanted to put down that sorry that your job's on hiatus right now because of the whole quarantine.
It's just it's not on hiatus, because I am still working. It's just reduced hours, and it's all curbside pickup for video games, which is kind of like drive-through gaming. Instead of having people just come and wander around because they're fucking bored.
Oh, so
and in this little itty-bitty town where I live, people just show up because they got nothing better to do, and with it being quarantine and everything like that, it's like, we can't have that. I don't care how bored you are. Go home. Discover some new music. Learn how to play an instrument. Learn how to crochet. Something. You do not need to be bothering folks at their jobs in retail because you're bored. You have the entirety of the internet and the world's knowledge at your fingertips on your cell phone. Find something to do.
I mean, what do you do? Like, you gotta wear protective equipment and just stick your hand out the door with their item and just give it to them and say have a good day, or what?
Yeah, pretty much. Crack open the door, ask them what they're there to pick up, grab the item, ring them up with a credit card, and hand it to them out the door. So yeah, there's not a lot of, if any, direct contact with anyone. I can wear gloves if I want to, but for me, it's just easier to be washing my hands between guests. And I wear my cosplay mask from my KDA cosplay from League of Legends. I wear that as a protective face shield because I don't want to use any of my good face masks that I use for painting and stuff when I'm making cosplay, because that would just be a waste.
What am I trying to say? Why is there a plus in your cosplay title on your Facebook page?
Plus is a symbol.
Yeah,
It means more, it means additionally, alternatively, it also means because I'm plus size. And it's just something that kind of catches your eye. So it's part of my brand, part of my logo. That big buttery yellow rose, and then of course that big plus symbol.
I mean, your whatchamacallit, your content. I mean, your content's pretty awesome. I mean, you have a lot of different kind of cosplays here. I mean, looking while we're talking here, so I get a good idea of what I'm talking about. But it's pretty neat, I gotta say.
I do have a lot of cosplays. I just don't have the money to be paying photographers to photograph them properly. Because it's those are the photographs that people want to see. Those are the photographs that people want to buy at conventions and stuff like that. Those are the photos that make people want to subscribe to the Patreon channels and stuff like that. Is the pro photos, not the selfies and stuff like that.
So
sure, some people for Patreon will do it for the private Snapchat or whatever, but I don't do any of that. I give them Snapchat access, but I don't do anything weird. I mean, usually on Snapchat I'm just sharing stupid memes and videos of my dog. So
I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean by anything weird? Like just out of the ordinary, or something that would be on something like a Snapchat?
It's just normal Snapchat stuff, but premium Snapchats, what you see with some cosplayers is where they'll be selling pictures of them, selfies, videos of them in cosplay. More often than not, doing lewd or nude type things, and that's just not my bag personally. But I mean, I have done some boudoir stuff and stuff like that, but I'm not into selling my nudes on Snapchat just to earn a following for my cosplay, because
yeah, that should be private matter. For the significant other in your life.
I don't have one except for my dog. And that's all I need.
I thought that's what's in your profile, though.
Yeah, my profile says that I am taken, but that is intentional because people have men especially have a hard time understanding no when a woman tells them no. So saying that I'm in a relationship instead of saying I'm single and not looking, they're less likely to be sending me unsolicited dick pics and things of that sort if they see in a relationship as opposed to single and not looking.
That's true. People have told me crazy stories about crap like that, like for real.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's nuts.
What is your favorite cosplay? Did I ask you what your favorite cosplay was?
Mm-mm.
What's your favorite cosplay then? Favorite one?
Let me think on that. I'm kind of like mid-bite right now. Give me a second. I'm having dinner. I haven't ate since like 10 this morning, so.
No, it's fine.
I can't say that I have like a favorite. There are definitely characters that I enjoy doing. Like Katana, I have 2 different cosplays for Katana from 2 different games. Soon to be 3 because I'm going to make her classic Mortal Kombat 2 outfit to make my little 7-year-old self proud.
Yeah.
I love cosplaying as Bloodrain as well, so I have 2 different costumes for her. And then there's just ones that I'll make for fun for me. Compliments for like my friends, because I'm also part of a cosplay group called Team 3-Star Cosplay. We do a lot of Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of parody the parody of Team 4-Star. And have a great time doing that. So like I have a Frieza cosplay. I don't have many pictures from that because it's quite frankly not my best work, but I made it for them for this Goku versus Frieza skit that we did for a contest.
What and who won who won in that confrontation?
Goku did. But
all right,
we did win best in show for the performance portion of that cosplay competition. So get that nice little award hanging on my wall.
And then there's the meme that goes like Vegeta. I love that.
I can't even make fajitas now without calling them fajitas. Because of Nappa. So like every time I'm making fajita meat and stuff for fajitas for the day or for the next week or whatever, I got Nappa in the back of my head going, fajita. I'm like, but they're fajitas. Fajita. I'm like, damn it.
that should you should open up a freaking restaurant and make fajitas on the menu and just call them Vegetas.
With the picture of Nappa right next to it.
Yeah, and they're just like Dragon Ball, like what was the Dragon Ball Z? We got ramen, we got this, and we got Vegeta.
That's on the bucket list. There is a place called the Super Saiyan. It is a soup and restaurant type place in Florida that is entirely themed around Dragon Ball Z.
Super Saiyan. I'm just saying.
The Super Saiyan.
We're just saying. And then you get like everyone in like Super Saiyan mode on the poster, and it says like, below it like we're just saying we're good. And Saiyan spelled like Super Saiyan style.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. What is your what is your favorite what's like your favorite favorite thing to do at a convention, like on the con floor? Like, do you like just meeting with other people, or do you like filming videos, or taking lots of pictures, or what's your thing?
Honestly, I'm just on the con floor. I love trying to go to panels when I can, but like most of my costumes don't have pockets, and I don't usually travel with like a handler who can carry my things to tell me, hey, this panel is this time or this panel is that time. So I'm just on the floor in my cosplay and getting talked to by folks, having my picture taken. If I'm there with my best friend, Midwest Kratos cosplay, we're not moving more than 3 feet at a time, because we will just be swarmed with pictures between the two of us.
Yeah. So what do you do with all your what do you do with all your stuff? How you carry it around? Do you just get bags from the vendors, and so you can just carry your stuff around in?
I don't buy anything at a convention until Sunday, because as often as I've gone to conventions and stuff, especially with like little private vendors and artists, by Sunday, they're more willing to negotiate with you because they still want to turn a profit, but they've also brought so much stuff with them that they just want to get rid of it. So usually on Sunday is when I'm wearing a more lightweight, more comfortable cosplay and bringing a bag with me where I can actually purchase stuff from the artist alley and the vendors hall.
Yeah, because usually on Sunday I would feel like that's the best day for for people to be going out and buying stuff, because that's the day everyone usually leaves, so they don't usually like to wear like heavy or important cosplay on a Sunday.
Right.
I mean, when I was there,
and it's the same thing with the artists and the vendors and stuff. Like, they have a lot of stuff that they set up on their little booth. They don't want to be hauling all of that back to their car. They don't want to be hauling all of that back home. They want to try to get rid of as much stuff as possible while they still can.
What is the coolest thing you ever saw on a con floor that you always have wanted?
That I always wanted?
Yeah, like even like you saw and you're like, oh, I want that.
I haven't run into anything yet.
Nothing. Well, I mean, I can tell from your profile picture and from some of your cosplays, you're into more of that World of Warcraft, D&D, Skyrim thing. So I feel like you'd be in for the medieval crap, you know?
No, I love that stuff. It's just I also live in a very small house, and I don't have a whole lot of room. So I try to prioritize what I want and what I need. So, like, I love Nightmare Before Christmas. So, like, I have a very large Nightmare Before Christmas collection, but I started prioritizing stuff for that to try to condense down how much I have, because I will always get more. It's just, okay, I can't be having action figures anymore. I can't be having home decor anymore. I can't be having ornaments or cups and things of that sort anymore. So for my Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, I pretty much limited it now to just stuff I can wear or high-end collectibles. And then, like, stuff for my Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but again, that's a lot of cool stuff, and it spans back decades, over 40 years, right?
Yeah.
So that is way too much collectible stuff that I could possibly put in this tiny, tiny little house. So I prioritized for the Star Wars stuff to try to keep it fixated on, like, kitchen supplies. Because I have, like, a Death Star waffle maker. I have decals, and yeah. I have Star Wars decals. I have Star Wars posters in my kitchen. I have a lot of Star Wars plates, cups, glasses, and things of that sort. So
you're the nerdiest.
I try to keep all my...
You're the nerdiest house on the block.
My house looks like a crack addict shack from the outside, but you wouldn't know that a nerd lives here from outside. But definitely indoors, it is very nerdy.
Do you have the Darth Vader toaster?
Sadly, no. And my little sister was planning on buying it for me as a Christmas gift, but she was reading the reviews and it said that more often than not, it smells like plastic burning. And she just did a smart thing and said, you know what? I don't trust it, so I'm not going to get it for you. But hey, I got these, this salad plate and pint glass set for you from your wish list.
That's crazy. If I ever get my own, I mean, I'm a huge wrestling nerd, so I'd probably, like, if I ever get my own place, I'd probably decor it with a lot of the stuff I like, mostly like a bunch of like wrestling stuff and Guitar Hero stuff and just a bunch of cool, nifty stuff that I have.
Oh yeah, my entire living room is all Dragon Ball Z.
Whoa. You love Dragon Ball, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And with my Dragon Ball Z, because the living room is pretty big and I have a lot of shelves and things, I don't limit myself to what I can and cannot have for Dragon Ball Z like I do the other stuff. So, like, I have posters, I have tons of statues, I've got Funko Pops, I've got some of the old 90s action figures from when I was a kid, the old Burger King stuff and McDonald's stuff from when I was a kid still.
Yeah.
All lined up and stuff on little rows and stuff like that. So I just have a lot of Dragon Ball stuff that are just kind of tastefully put all over my living room.
Do you have a basement? Is your basement full of nerdy stuff too?
My basement is a cellar, and the Crypt Keeper lives there, and I just kind of leave him alone.
Crypt Keeper? That's funny. Are you saying you have a bunch of stuff down there and you just don't go down there?
No, it's just a really damp. I mean, it's not even a finished basement. It is just dirt. It is rotting wood. There's a flood pump down there that I have to check from time to time. And if my fuses go out, I have to go down there to fix it. And there are more spiders than I know what to do with. And all those cobwebs, I just prefer not to if I can help it.
Because wouldn't it be cool if you can convert that thing into like a nerd room?
That'd be great, but this isn't my house. Yeah, I rent, and my landlords are kind of like slumlords or whatever, so like they're fine with me just doing whatever. But like I'm not going to add any additions to the place or fix anything with the place that's going to give them the opportunity to make more money when I move out of here, if I ever move out of here. I've been here 10 years, so unless something catastrophic happens, I'm probably not going to be going anywhere.
I mean, no, when you were talking about the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, it's like I got prioritize, gotta do all this, and looks to the left and sees the massive collection that you said you had.
It's big. I've got a lot of stuff, and the thing is because it's like Disney product and stuff like that, and one of Hot Topic's biggest sellers, I will never ever stop having enough because they constantly make new shit every year. And I have family that's like, well, I don't want to buy you anything you already have. I'm like, just do it. Even if you think I got it. Because chances are I probably don't. And even if by the off chance, the extremely off chance that you do get me something I do have, I don't care. I will love it anyway. Just get me Nightmare Before Christmas shit. We've talked about this over the last 30 years. Nightmare Before Christmas shit.
Like is every room in your house like themed after something or?
Yeah, I have. Let's see here. I've got bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, cosplay room. Yeah. So every room has a theme.
Like what? Like of course one room is Dragon Ball Z, but then like is like the bedroom like Nightmare Before Christmas, and like the cosplay room just like all your cosplay.
The
stuff.
cosplay room, yeah, the cosplay room is the cosplay room. So like I've got posters and things decorating that room that don't fit anywhere else in the house. And then it's got a very large, it's about the size of a very large walk-in closet. And that's where my sewing machine, my desk is. And of course, I've got a whole separate part of the closet where stuff is hanging up, wigs, costumes, shoes, another table just full of paint and things of that sort too.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I just want to let you know we've been going for an hour and 7 minutes.
Okay.
That's crazy, isn't
I
it?
don't know how long you take. Yeah, I don't know how long you take on these podcasts, so we can end it whenever.
I usually try to go an hour, but
Oh, okay.
but is there anything you want to ask me? Just out of curiosity.
No, this is your podcast, your baby. I'm just a special guest.
What? I just thought if you had anything you can ask it if you like.
I can't think of anything, and of course I'm eating too, so.
And plus, yeah, I mean, like it's like I feel like we covered a lot of ground today. I feel like we.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So yeah. Thank you everyone for listening to episode 99. This is amazing. Episode 99 of Cyber Time Bite, everyone. You can find me on Twitter at NostalgiaVamp. Follow me on Facebook at Cyber Time Bite. Make sure to pick up my Spork t-shirt at redbubble.com under Crash Steven Gear, where even you know that the Spork is the most powerful of them all. How about you? Where can people find your stuff again?
Sorry, I got dog hair in my mouth. You can find me on all my social medias, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Buttery Rose Cosplay. No plus on the end, it's just Buttery Rose Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon.
Yeah, it's all pretty cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this interview and you got a lot out of it. And hopefully you come back. Hopefully we'll have you on the podcast again sometime in the near future.
Be cool.
Yeah, we can. Because it probably won't be until after. You'll probably be like in the one. I can't believe I'm going to say. Oh, my next couple episodes are going to be like 101, 102. That's crazy.
Right.
Well, for right now, I hope all of you have a fantastic day. Have a good one.
It's time to go back to work. There's a lot to do. We have things to make, stuff to build, cargo to ship, customers to serve. So grab a 5-hour energy and get ready. For 16 years, through good times and bad, 5-hour energy has been there helping hard-working people get stuff done. It's time to go back to work. Let's roll up our sleeves and get going. For more information and to order online, visit 5hourenergy.com.
It just doesn't feel like summer without an ice-cold Coca-Cola in your hand. Stop by your local convenience store today and grab a 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Or pick up even more delicious refreshment with a 20-ounce bottle of Diet Coke, Sprite, or Fanta. So no matter how you soak in that summer sun, at home or on the go, grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola today and enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Are you ready? I said, are you ready? You're rocking with the heavyweight champs of sports talk.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Brandon Way and Brandon Rudolph.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
Tune in to Opinionated Facts, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on the RTF Sports Network. And we're back again every Sunday at 12 noon on Facebook Live.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Only on the Opinionated Facts Facebook page, presented by TCP Network.
For the latest information, news, and analysis of the Los Angeles Lakers and the NBA, check out the Lakers Fast Break podcast every Tuesday night at 9, right here at rtfsportsnetwork.com.
The snow is melting and it's starting to warm.
Is this for the new commercial?
This is the new commercial. We're recording. Why is it you always cut me off?
Guys, calm down. Let's just start it over.
It's too late. We have to start our show, which is Twist, the weekend sports talk, where you can hear banter like this with sports and interviews. Hear us on the RTF Sports Network, Mondays at 8 Eastern. Also, like our page on RTF Sports Network and check us out at rtfsportsnetwork.com.
What's going on, everybody? Whether you're practicing social distancing of 6 feet up to 6 miles, you can still party with On and Off the Field, where you can listen to the best NFL and charity-based podcasts out there on the RTF Sports Network. You can follow them on Facebook or go to rtfsportsnetwork.com and check out the show Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's up, y'all? You know who it is. It's your boy Dylan from On and Off the Field with Durf and Dylan. So I'm just coming to let you know, on the RTF Sports Network, this show will now be live from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. If you go to rtfsportsnetwork.com, you can listen to the show live from there and on our social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram. It's going to be an amazing show that is all about the fans. Also, when you go to rtfsportsnetwork.com, make sure to vote for On and Off the Field as the show of the month for April. If we win that, money is going to charity. You can count on that.
For the latest information, news, and analysis of the Los Angeles Lakers and the NBA, check out the Lakers Fast Break podcast every Tuesday night at 9, right here at rtfsportsnetwork.com.
What's up, y'all? You know who it is. It's your boy Dylan from On and Off the Field with Durf and Dylan. So I'm just coming to let you know, on the RTF Sports Network, this show will now be live from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. If you go to rtfsportsnetwork.com, you can listen to the show live from there and on our social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram. It's going to be an amazing show that is all about the fans. Also, when you go to rtfsportsnetwork.com, make sure to vote for On and Off the Field as the show of the month for April. If we win that, money is going to charity. You can count on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
You're rocking with the heavyweight champs of sports talk.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Brandon Way and Brandon Rudolph.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
Tune in to Opinionated Facts, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on the RTF Sports Network. And we're back again every Sunday at 12 noon on Facebook Live.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Only on the Opinionated Facts Facebook page, presented by TCP Network.
What's going on, everybody? Whether you're practicing social distancing of 6 feet up to 6 miles, you can still party with On and Off the Field, where you can listen to the best NFL and charity-based podcasts out there on the RTF Sports Network. You can follow them on Facebook or go to rtfsportsnetwork.com and check out the show Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's going on, everybody? Whether you're practicing social distancing of 6 feet up to 6 miles, you can still party with On and Off the Field, where you can listen to the best NFL and charity-based podcasts out there on the RTF Sports Network. You can follow them on Facebook or go to rtfsportsnetwork.com and check out the show Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And thank you for tuning in to the Playmakers podcast right here on the RTF Sports Network.com radio network. Join them every Monday at 8 p.m. East Coast time, right here, right now, same time, same place, rtfsportsnetwork.com. And you just heard Just for Clicks with your host, Michael Buckheiser. That is me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And join me tomorrow, same time, same place, rtfsportsnetwork.com, right here on the noon hour, East Coast time. And that was Long Island's best wrestling podcast. Join Monty and the Pharaoh next time, right here on the RTF Sports Network.com Radio Network. Tee him up, ref! Tee him up! Ref! Tee him up! Technical foul. Coming up next. Right here on RTFSportsNetwork.com Radio Network. Coming up next, right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com Radio Network, is Monte and DeFlaro, your place for Long Island's wrestling podcast. Stay tuned. Coming up next, right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com Radio Network, is The Chronicles with your host, Cal Miller Trey. Stay tuned. And thank you for tuning in to Nerd Thud Sports with your host, Corey. Join them every Monday at 7 p.m. East Coast time right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com Radio Network.
For the latest information, news, and analysis of the Los Angeles Lakers and the NBA, check out the Lakers Fast Break podcast every Tuesday night at 9, right here at RTFSportsNetwork.com.
It's time for the talk of the hour. It's time to get those opinions with some facts. Opinionated Facts with your host, Brandon Way, coming at you guys right now. Are you looking for a veteran-based sports podcast? Tune in right now at the top of the hour, 8 p.m. to Hares and the Doggy Show. Join us. It's going to be great, guys. Coming up next, right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com Radio Network, is Monte and DeFlaro, your place for Long Island's wrestling podcast. Stay tuned. Thank you guys for tuning in to Brandon Way's Opinionated Facts. Now that the opinions are facts, be sure to subscribe to the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio website. Scroll down to the bottom of the website, enter your email, and enter in some drawings. $500 gift card given away every month in the year 2020. And that was your host, Brian Snow, with Beyond the Arc, full hour of NBA talk.
For the latest information, news, and analysis of the Los Angeles Lakers and the NBA, check out the Lakers Fast Break podcast every Tuesday night at 9, right here at RTFSportsNetwork.com.
And that was your loyal BBN fan, guys, Michael Spencer. Join him every Thursday at 2 p.m. right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio. And that was your loyal BBN fan, guys, Michael Spencer. Join him every Thursday at 2 p.m. right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio. Thank you for tuning in for Kicking and Sticking Fantasy Football radio show right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio network. Hopefully now you can win that fantasy league, win that week, and win that trophy. We don't want no tattoos. And that was To Be Blunt with your host, Peasy. Join them every Thursday, 6 p.m. live right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio network. Coming up next here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio network is Twist. This Week in Sports Talk with your host, Mike Reeves. Coming up next right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio network is Monte and DeFlaro, your place for Long Island's wrestling podcast. Stay tuned. And that was To Be Blunt with your host, Peasy. Join them every Thursday, 6 p.m. live right here on the RTFSportsNetwork.com radio network.
What's up, y'all? You know who it is. It's your boy Dylan from On and Off the Field with Durf and Dylan. So I'm just coming to let you know, on the RTF Sports Network, this show will now be live from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. If you go to rtfsportsnetwork.com, you can listen to the show live from there and on our social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram. It's going to be an amazing show that is all about the fans. Also, when you go to rtfsportsnetwork.com, make sure to vote for On and Off the Field as the show of the month for April. If we win that, money is going to charity. You can count on that.
And you just heard Just for Clicks with your host, Michael Buckheiser. That is me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And join me tomorrow, same time, same place, rtfsportsnetwork.com, right here on the noon hour, East Coast time.
What's going on, everybody? Whether you're practicing social distancing of 6 feet up to 6 miles, you can still party with On and Off the Field, where you can listen to the best NFL and charity-based podcasts out there on the RTF Sports Network. You can follow them on Facebook or go to rtfsportsnetwork.com and check out the show Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And that was On and Off the Field with your host, Dylan Moran. Join them every Thursday, 3 p.m. East Coast time, right here on the RTF Sports Network. If you missed today's show, join them at 7:30 p.m. East Coast time for On and Off the Field live right here on the rtfsportsnetwork.com radio network or on the RTF Sports Network Facebook page. And that was To Be Blunt with your host, Peasy. Join them every Thursday, 6 p.m. live right here on the rtfsportsnetwork.com radio network. And that was your host, Brian Snow, with Beyond the Arc, full hour of NBA talk. Do you want to be smart? But do you want to be thug at the same time? Tune in right now to Nerd Thug Sports, coming up next right here on the RTF Sports Network. And that was Lakers Fast Break with your host, Gerald Glassford. Join them next week, same time, same place, rtfsportsnetwork.com, 3 p.m. East Coast time. Lakers Fast Break. Are you looking for some sports talk with some New York flair? Join us next at the 2 p.m. hour with Down to the Wire with your host, Earl Marks. And you just heard On the Daily with Cole Johnson. Stay tuned for more. Coming up next here on the rtfsportsnetwork.com radio network is Beyond the Arc with your host, Brian Snow. NBA talk for the next hour. Enjoy. Thank you for tuning into Behind the Bunker. Hopefully you guys have gained some knowledge and are able and willing and just eager to try some paintball out moving forward. Thank you for tuning into the rtfsportsnetwork.com radio network. Join us next time on the Behind the Bunker every Tuesday at 7 p.m. East Coast time. And you just heard Just for Clicks with your host, Michael Buckheiser. That is me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And join me tomorrow, same time, same place, rtfsportsnetwork.com, right here on the noon hour, East Coast time. And that was the Daily BS with your host, Brian Snow. Join him tomorrow, 4 p.m. East Coast time, right here on the RTF Sports Network page at rtfsportsnetwork.com. Calling all fishermen, do you love to fish? Are you stuck inside? No, you're not, because join us right here on the rtfsportsnetwork.com radio network with Red Beard Bass. Coming up next here on the rtfsportsnetwork.com webpage is Just for Clicks with your host, Michael Buck.